We welcome you to downtown Houston tonight from Minute Maid Park. The Houston Astros continue this homestand as they take on the Kansas City Royals in the first of a three-game weekend series. The Astros have been rolling lately. They have won 14 of the last 15 games. Meanwhile, Kansas City Royals have lost 15 of 16. Also, since June 5th, when this streak began, the Astros were 2 games behind Seattle in the AL West, and now, having won 13 out of 14 games, the Astros are 3.5 ahead, even though the Mariners have been slightly over 500 in that stretch. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Friday night of baseball. I'm Todd Callis. Jeff Bagwell joins us for his monthly visit, along with Jeff Blum. And Baggy, first of all, good to have you.
Good to be here.
During their stretch, 13 wins in 14 games, the Astros offense has been rolling.
They have. They really picked it up. Early on, it was all about our pitching. Our pitching was doing great, but now our offense is starting to come by. Makes it a little bit easier for the pitchers to go out there and not worry about giving up a run, because they're always going to make an adjustment at home plate, getting guys over and getting guys in. That's why we're scoring runs, and that's what we're doing right now.
These guys are doing a great job. Like Baggy said, our Toyota Let's Get Out and Play shows you the numbers in the last 14 games, over 6.5 runs per game, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're getting on base and they're slugging the ball. We saw that explosion last time out where they went back to back to back, eventually hitting 4 home runs because Jose Altuve getting a little bit of that power stroke going. But in breaking down some of the numbers in those last 14 games, you get to see how they compare to the average of the 2017 All-Stars in the major leagues. Very comparable numbers. There's actually less ABs on the left-hand side, but the Astros getting that average up. They are slugging extremely well. The 25 home runs, very similar. But what I love, and I know Baggy loves it too, is when they're driving in runs and they're also scoring a ton of runs. That's something that Biggio and Bagwell did quite well.
And when they're playing these teams, Baggy, that are less than 500 or near 500, they're not taking anything for granted. They're going out and taking it to them.
No, they have to. And these are the teams that we have to beat. Clearly, we're better than them. Obviously, you can lose any time at any night. But our guys are really, really good. And they're going to have a little bit where they're going to play a whole bunch of teams that have under 500 records. We got to take advantage of this time.
All right, we're getting ready for the first pitch here from Minute Maid Park. When we come back, we'll have more on a Friday night. The Astros and the Royals kicking off a weekend series right after this. low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Couple of left-handers on the mound tonight. Danny Duffy for Kansas City and Dallas Keuchel for the Astros. Bart Ennis will join us to talk more about the Astros left-hander right around the corner.
Started. Both teams are thankful for a retractable roof and some air conditioning after playing in some sweltering heat last weekend in Kansas City. A big part of that series sweep for the Astros was a nice performance from tonight's starter Dallas Keuchel in Game 2, in which he threw 6 strong innings, allowing just 2 earned runs on 6 hits, and the Astros won 10-2. The real key for Dallas that day was the effectiveness of his best pitch, that slider. Had nasty bite down and into the back foot of right-handed hitters, and that sets up all of his work to the other side of the plate. It also allows him to get some weak contact, which he is known for. And of course, the Royals are going to be looking for that slider tonight, having just faced him. But A.J. Hinch told us that as long as Dallas commands the lower half of the strike zone, gets some ground ball outs, and works that slider, he's going to be just fine. Plumber, as I toss it back up to you guys, that is the formula for success for Dallas Keuchel.
No, you're absolutely right. The numbers aren't impressive in 15 starts for Dallas Keuchel, but he's looking to right that ship. And what you're talking about is that slider. We had Sparky on last week also. And that last time Dallas was out there, he was facing these Kansas City Royals. So it should be comfortable for him to understand the game plan going against these Kansas City Royals. But if he can get that slider down and in and maybe work that four seam a little bit on the inside corner and also have good depth on that sinker, it should be another good evening for Dallas Keuchel right here at Minute Maid Park.
Last time they matched up, it was a 10-2 Astros win. Keuchel versus Danny Duffy at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. And here's how the Royals will line things up against the Astros left-hander tonight. Whit Merrifield leads off. He's the second baseman. Rosell Herrera is in right field. Mike Moustakas at third. Salvador Perez behind the plate as a cleanup hitter. Hunter Dozier at first base. Alex Gordon, the left fielder, hits sixth. Alcides Escobar in a new position tonight. He's playing center field for just the second time in his big league career. Paulo Orlando is the DH, and Adalberto Mondesi going to get some time at shortstop. That's why Escobar is in center. Astros starting defense presented by Xfinities sees Marwin Gonzalez in left field, Jake Marisnick in center, George is in right. Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa left side, Jose Altuve, Yuli Gurriel right side, Max Stassi behind the plate for Dallas Keuchel tonight. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Jeff Bagwell tonight in the broadcast booth. Bart Ennis down on the sidelines. We will Have the first of 3 for you between the Kansas City Royals and the Houston Astros, as the first pitch tonight is a little bit inside to Merrifield for a ball, 1-0. Good. Merrifield's been the Royals' best hitter for about the last month and a half, and with Kansas City struggling this year, he could be on the trade block this season. This one's off Dallas Keuchel all the way into foul territory, as that was a line drive right off the Astros pitcher on the second pitch of the game.
Welcome to the mound, Dallas.
Seems to be fine. They'll check on him. Ooh.
Looked and sounded like it squared him up pretty good on our mattress firm Supermo right in that left knee. Oof.
Jeremiah Randall out there with A.J. Hinch, and now Brent Strom, the pitching coach, will join the group. Assume Dallas will throw a couple of warm-up pitches here. That didn't sound great, though.
Did not. You know, that's the thing with the Royals. Merrifield, those are guys that are going to put the ball in play. You know, they're not big swingers. They don't hit a lot of home runs. So these are the guys that Dallas has to really, really pitch to. And, you know, he has that thing with the soft contact and all that. So he's got to pitch to all those quadrants against guys like that, because generally they're going to put the ball in play, I think.
Yeah, we talked about maybe some of the similarities between him and Mike Hampton, living on the edges, creating a little bit of downward movement. But when the ball's hit that fast back at you, it's tough to knock it down.
You can't knock that one down, only with a shin. No, it is. He is a lot like Hambone. The thing about today is the strike zone's a little bit smaller, and Dallas needs the inside part of the plate. You know, if it's just an inch and down by the knees, and that's very, very important to him, just like it was to Mike Hampton. And guys that don't throw extremely hard. You know, the rest of our guys, you know, they're 95 to 99. They can get away with mistakes. You know, Dallas has to pitch. He's the epitome of being a pitcher. Both sides of the plate, up and down, and change speeds. They're going to put balls in play. You know, thankfully he's not hurt, but he can get a double play right here.
Facing young right fielder Rosell Herrera, and he's around to bunt. And he does attempt to bunt, so that's a strike.
That was interesting.
Facing Keuchel for the first time.
Yeah. But that's 0-2.
Right.
Yeah, I talk about that all the time. That 0-1 bunt. If you're going to get out there 0-1, and it better, if it's a strike, you better lay it down.
You got to, because what are you going to do now?
Behind, yeah,
I agree with you.
Herrera with the Reds earlier in the year, made his big league debut in late April and was put on waivers at the end of April, or excuse me, at the end of May, and was picked up by Kansas City. Both these pitchers, Baggy, are facing their respective teams' second straight start. When you saw a guy and then got him 5 days later, did you feel that was an advantage for you?
Yeah, I guess, but you know, it all depends on what the pitcher presents that day. You know, every single start that you face Dallas is going to be a different at bat or a different day on the mound. There's some days he might not have his changeup as best he wants, and he has his cutter better. So you just got to kind of get a feel for what he has. But you know, obviously it's better to face guys the longer you face them. You know, the more you face guys in the course of your career, obviously it doesn't make it always easier, but a little bit more comfortable.
Merrifield second in the American League in steals with 16. Dallas a long pause out of the set. 1-2 pitch misses. It's 2-2.
And I'll give you another thing. You know, we talk about a lot of times on, you know, analytics and stuff like that. You know, this guy's got a great curveball. Everybody tells him to throw more curveballs, or whether it's a changeup. The more you throw it to me, the more I see it, the more I have a better chance to hit it.
And a chance to lay off it.
Right, because
yeah.
I know what it's going to do. I mean, say it's a curveball. Say it's a curveball and you keep throwing it to me, and then if you throw 4 or 5 to me in one at bat, I understand that if you throw it at me, it's a strike. If you throw it down the middle, it's going to be a ball. The more I see it, the more I'm going to be able to recognize that.
That's that little cutter he's been throwing a lot this year?
Yeah, that's that cut piece at 87. Good
Actually,
location down and in.
It actually backed up and went down.
Well, it's nice when he gets that depth on it, because if it flattens out a little bit, the hitter has a better chance.
Exactly right.
Here's Mike Moustakas. Moustakas leads the team in home runs. On a team that hasn't scored many runs, Moose has 48 runs batted in this year. And he's also leading the team in runs scored.
And what Blumey's talking about when that pitch right there is that ball goes down instead of cross. It's kind of like Giles when he throws his slider. When it goes straight down, it's harder to hit that way than it is when it goes across.
On the ground foul. It's 1-1.
We got some pitch usage on Dallas Keuchel, brought to you by AT&T. Previous starts, 53% of the time fastball, 18% on that slider. And the cutter and changeup have stayed the same, but you can see that last start against these Kansas City Royals, he jumped that slider up a little bit. But it might have to do with the fact that Bart Ennis was talking about the fact that he had good command of it and threw some better sliders in that game, and he was comfortable to it to the point that Baggy was making, so he went with it.
Altuve bobbles it. He knew he had to hurry with Merrifield going to second base.
Yeah, and what Blumey's saying is he has a better feel in that particular game. The last start, he had a better feel for his cutter than he did any other pitch. So if he's got a better feel, then he feels like he's going to throw a better pitch. You're going to see more usage.
Might have been a situation, and I know Baggy's going to love this comment,
Oh,
where Altuve was trying to get the ball a little bit quicker to his shortstop to protect him from the non-takeout slide.
But you don't have to do that anymore because there's not a there is not a takeout slide anymore.
I knew you'd appreciate that.
It absolutely drives me crazy. But it is the game the way it is, made to be like a video game where you just throw it and everybody moves and straight turn, nothing. Never mind, that's my own pet peeve and I apologize.
Blumey's trying to stir it up.
Yeah, he knows.
No, I can't stand the rule either. I took great pride in being able to turn a double play and get the heck out of the way.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Correa nicely to his left on a ball hit hard by Salvador Perez. After a leadoff hit off his left knee, Dallas Keuchel gets the next 3 outs. Bregman, Jose Altuve coming off a game in which he hit the hardest home run of his StatCast career since 2015. Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel, Evan Gattis. Marwin Gonzalez is the left fielder, Max Stassi behind the plate. This is the same lineup that they had against Danny Duffy in Kansas City with Jake Marisnick batting ninth.
Yeah, there is some familiarity between Duffy and these Houston Astros. It took them a little while to get to him, but they eventually did. Started to launch the baseball out of Max Stassi, got him for a big 3-run home run. He is a guy that will come at you with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. He'll go to the changeup quickly and has a slider and a curveball, but 3-7 and off to a rough start.
Facing George Springer to start this game, and misses down with a fastball.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, watching this team the last few days, or actually this few months, but even last game with all the excitement with the back-to-back home runs, I really have just never seen just an excitement of a ball club all the way around. I mean, these guys literally pull like I've never seen for each other, and they enjoy the moment. In the era that I played, when it was kind of like, this is business, let's get this thing done, this is the way to do things, don't show emotion. They do. I think the World Series last year for me just changed everything for me, and I'm okay with what these guys are doing. It's fun to watch as a fan. It really is.
When you say you're okay with that, because times have changed, as you said, this wouldn't have played when you played.
Probably not. You know, when guys are on the, out in the on-deck circle, like almost college-y. No, that wouldn't have played that well. But I get it now. I really do, and I've changed my opinion on that. As long as you keep it in some sort of a box. I'm a big fan of what I watch these guys do. I really am.
It's hard to watch this team and not smile.
I agree with you 100%. My friend over here, he knows I texted him something after the third home run. I said, man, this is fun. And it really is. And I'm sitting on my couch, and it's fun. And I'm not even here. It's really, really been great to see.
Strike called on the outside corner. Springer goes down looking.
95.
Yeah, he can touch it every now and then. Painting that outside corner with it too on our MD Anderson strike zone. Salvador Perez sitting on the outside black, and he gets that pitch. But like Baggy said, every once in a while you're going to see Duffy reach back, maybe in a 2-strike count, and get a little bit extra on that fastball.
Well, if he keeps throwing it right there, that's a tough one to hit. But my bet is he can't do it the entire game.
I'd say you dare him to do it every pitch.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's Alex Bregman taking his strike.
That's the same velocity right down the middle. So that's what hitting is hitting the mistakes. They make pitches like you did to George right there. That's tough. You hope you can follow it off, but you just got to get him in the strike zone in your strength.
Did you expect maybe? I know it's only the second hitter into the game, but did you expect Alex Bregman maybe to be a little more ready to hit that first pitch fastball right down the middle because they just saw Duffy 5-6 days ago?
Yeah, that would be a reason why I would think
that might be the only
reason.
Right?
If you have a feel, this is what you're going to get. But I mean, to me,
and you're used to the release point.
Yeah, and to me, you're always hitting off a fastball.
Yeah,
and you might not get that many right down the middle. But Alex has shown throughout his career that his control of the strike zone, it doesn't really bother him to miss one. But when you take one right down the middle, I don't care who's pitching, you're kind of like, oh man, that might be the
I wish I would have swung at that one. Yeah.
That might be your one cookie.
Yeah, that might be it.
But you're right. This is one guy, Alex Bregman, is not. He is in no panic when he's up there. Got rung up on that one.
That pretty much goes against everything we just talked about.
That's the beauty of baseball,
yes,
isn't it?
It is. What a game.
Alex tried to hold up, but was called for a swing here.
Yeah, he went around. That was a changeup too. He doesn't. Duffy does not throw that pitch all that often. They only threw it 5% of the time last time out there against the Astros, so it's not a pitch that they're accustomed to seeing.
The guy he threw it to, though, is this guy.
Yeah.
He started out Altuve with.
Throw everything to this guy.
It doesn't matter.
Well, Altuve's he's had good numbers against Duffy. So he started him out with a changeup in 2 of the 3 at bats. This time he gives him a fastball, and Altuve pops it up. 97 on that fastball. Herrera makes the catch. 1-2-3 inning for Danny Duffy, who gave up 2 to the Astros in the first last time.
this ball club, throwing out the first pitch before tonight's game. A very special moment for him. Bratton, a scout here for 30 years. His tenure here spanned 3 ownership groups, 7 different general managers. He's just had an incredible career. Drafted names like Lance Berkman, Roy Oswald, Hunter Pence, Bent Zobrist, Dallas Keuchel, Alex Bregman. I mean, just an incredible career with the Astros, and he was honored by throwing out the first pitch along with his granddaughter before tonight's game. Told me before he walked out there he loved every minute of it, but he's actually looking forward to watching the game as a fan, guys.
Yeah, good job on that part. I'm glad we got a chance to see that first pitch, because those are the unsung heroes of organizations, are the scouts. Never hear about them, never see them, unless you're somewhere in the middle of America playing in a game and they're driving across country to find the next best player.
Yeah, they definitely don't get the pub as far as papers and TV and things like that. So if you can shine a little bit of a spotlight on them every once in a while, it is a good thing. Because when things go wrong, they definitely take the heat for it.
But I'll tell you what, you ask the players, man, they remember.
Oh,
they
yeah.
remember who drafted them. They were the ones there at the games watching them and stuff like that.
Dozier flies out to right to start the inning. When was the first time you remember a game where there were scouts out there and all of a sudden?
I don't. I played in Connecticut.
Nobody came to see you.
I don't know. Maybe.
One guy.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Yeah, one guy. Irwin Bryant for the Red Sox.
There you go.
And then Tom Moody that got me over here. But, you know, guys, I mean, it's a big moment in your life when you're a kid and, you know, you start thinking about the draft and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, just to think that somebody wants you. I mean, most kids that you see aren't guys that, you know, hit 500 in high school or college with 40 homers and stuff like that. They got to work hard at this game. And to get some guy to come and watch them play in Katy or you know, spring or whatever like that, and to get drafted, that's a big deal for not only the kid but also for the scout too. It's a neat deal.
Keuchel ahead of Alex Gordon 0-2. How long was your season? I mean, it's weather.
Yeah, my last year in college we played 33 games,
And that was
because it was snowing, it was freezing.
33.
That's it. That's all we played. I think I got drafted out of Cape Cod though. That was I played down there for 2 years. And
It's a
that
great
helped me.
league.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
First time they really get to see collegiate players play with that wood bat too.
Exactly. You know, and I pressed so much my first year I hit 207. They still asked me to come back.
2-2 pitch is rolled up the middle. Carlos Correa to his left makes the play on Gordon for out number 2. Correa is playing a great defensive shortstop this year.
I'll tell you what, man, you couldn't. I've seen him so much this year. What he does one-handed, and Blummy knows this. You know, guys that can catch the ball with one hand means you have good hands.
Yeah.
You know, you can deal with bad hops and stuff like that. Like at first baseman, I could just botch the ball and it hits the ground and I flip it to the pitcher. But at shortstop, you can't do that. If you can do stuff what he does at 6'4", and it's been impressive to me, man. It really has. His defense has been great. He works really hard at it. Joe and then with Jose and all those guys, they work real hard on their defense, and it shows every single night.
2 outs, nobody on. Here's Alcides Escobar.
What I think is great about Carlos Correa is being a legitimate 6'4" shortstop. It really helps him to go down with one hand, because in order to get both hands down there, you got to get in a pretty good squat.
And you would know that.
Yeah.
And it is. And I've heard that. Joe Espada was, you know, he told me about that being big. It's hard to get all the way down, so you really have to get yourself moved around by your feet, I guess.
Oh, feet create soft
Right.
hands, and Carlos Correa has very good feet.
Because I've never really quite been in that era of over 6 foot, so I really don't know what it's like.
Still working on that?
Yeah, I've given up on that. It's just I don't have to go farther to get off the couch, so it's not that far.
That is true.
6 foot, 5'11", excuse me.
2-1 pitch is a little inside with a cutter. It's 3-1.
Why is that a good pitch?
Because he can throw a two-seamer right here on the outside part of the plate because he's thinking in, and he can just roll it over to Carlos, and he can watch it do it with one hand.
Yeah, and as a hitter, you recognize pitch in. You assume it's going to be the cut, and when it doesn't, and it locks you up, get the call third.
This one ripped foul. Hey, nice play over there in the first row.
Love.
He's ready.
How about the lady that got hit in the face with the
Hot dog.
hot dog?
I knew you were going to go there.
Sorry. That was
Philly fanatic.
And she was so awesome, too, about it. She was cool with it. So,
There's that two-seamer you were talking. You called it.
yeah, but it didn't go
The last
short.
pitch. The last pitch he came in.
Yeah, well, he didn't mean to.
Baggy wanted him to roll it over.
I did. It would make me look good.
Well, there's still a possibility.
There is. I still got a fighting chance. That's all I'm trying to do at home plate, dude. Just give me a chance. So I got to tip some balls. There it is.
Well, he's just late enough to foul it off.
Yeah. But that's what these Royals do. They're, as you say, pesky. They don't have big swingers generally. I guess Salvador Perez would be a little bit of one. He got the most home runs. He can hit the ball out of the ballpark. But these guys, they put the ball in play, which is what they did, and that's how they won the World Series that year.
There's a ball in the center field, and Marisnik will play it on a hop. Alcides Escobar with a base hit. He had been struggling lately, 4 for his last 54, but a 2-out single here.
Yeah, they won the World Series like that. By the way, so did we last year by not striking out that much.
Lately, it seems like the at-bats have been better, not striking out.
You're right. We talked about this like a couple months ago when I was here. We get spoiled. And I said, we're going to be okay. I mean, we have track records, and these guys are good. And they adjust. And they compete, and they work very, very hard.
Paulo Orlando's the batter. He's DHing tonight. Well, Blummer and I have had this discussion for 2 years now, and we can't figure it out. Why is this team hit so much better away from Minute Maid Park? Do you have any theories?
None. I mean, this is a great ballpark to hit in.
Yeah.
They've actually, they moved the fence in, and it seems like the backdrop, it can't get any better than it is right now.
Base hit into left field, past Correa, back-to-back singles allowed by Kile.
So I don't know what, I don't understand. Not only, I mean, what about the little guy at second base? I mean, it's like 400 every year on the road. That's crazy.
Well, until recently, I don't know what the exact number is now, but I looked at the numbers maybe about 2 weeks ago, maybe last homestand, 265 here at Minute Maid Park. And I couldn't believe that number.
I don't understand that. I mean, this is a great ballpark to hit in. But hey, man, we won a World Series last year. It works.
Well, I was saying they raked in the playoffs here at home. They won a lot of ball games, got some big hits. Now, did you notice a difference in the way pitchers pitched you on the road as opposed to here at Minute Maid Park?
No.
They were pretty consistent?
Yeah, well, no, you're right. What happened to me is I used to be open. I got here, and no pitcher would pitch in. So I closed my stance and said, I'll just hit the ball to right. And if you see generally, and I think that's why our guys, have pitched pretty well here, is because they do use part of the inside part of the plate, and the fact that they throw 97 miles an hour.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
did you transition that first year, going from the that first year?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
did you have a plan on doing that, or did you just recognize how they were doing it?
I just saw how things were going. They just not pitch in at all because they were afraid of that ball over there. But that's not that far over there to right either. And our guys are certainly capable of hitting the ball.
Our right-handed hitters can do that easily.
Oh, my God.
I completely agree on that.
Have you ever seen Carlos Correa or George Springer take BP? There is not. Torchies is in danger. It's just special to watch these guys.
How about Evan Gattis? Evan Gattis, that's all he's trying to do in batting practice is go out oppo.
But see, the reason Evan does that is to keep his shoulder in the game. He's just trying to stay square. He's not trying to just punch and Judy a ball to right field. He's doing it so he keeps his hands through the baseball. And then as soon as the game starts, then you just battle. You compete when you go up there, and you just, like Evan said, I always tell him, just try and hurt somebody today, preferably in the seats somewhere.
First season at Minute Maid, 135 home runs. 1 year after the '99 Astros had 65 in the last year at the Dome.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a little bit different place. But yeah, I mean, but pitchers, especially our pitchers back in 2000, they took BP here the first day we came back here, and they were all running for the exit because they were so scared of this ballpark, and they pitched like it actually. And the guys that didn't, if you look throughout the years, the Hamptons, the Roy Oswalds, a lot of guys pitch real well here, and our guys pitch well here too. So Dallas. It can be done. Yeah, Dallas is great.
Dallas pitches great here.
He's not scared. I mean, that's the deal. He's not scared. He's not scared he's going to make a mistake. If you start to think you're going to make a mistake, I guarantee you're going to make a mistake. You got to execute your pitches, and then hitting. You have to have a plan up there too. I mean, obviously it's a lot harder because we don't have the ball in our hand. We have a bat in our hand, but you got to have some sort of plan up there.
So I'm glad the 2 runs per game differential makes as much sense to you as it does to us. It's good to hear. 2-2 pitch, swinging and miss. Dallas gets some swinging to end the inning. Couple of hits, couple left on. We head to the bottom of the second, scoreless.
Stars in Altuve, Correa, and Springer for the best deal of the season. Tickets are still available at astros.com/tickets.
$20. That's a solid price to watch the world champions as Carlos Correa digs in there, bottom half of the second inning. Got a three-man booth tonight. Of course, Blummer, who's always here. Then the Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell joins us. This time last year, you were prepping to get ready for your induction. Have you already made the plans to go back to Cooperstown?
We have.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's got a good class. Some really, really cool dudes. Kind of getting towards my era a little bit instead of like the 20-year gap. So it'll be fun to watch Trevor and Tony and Chipper. You know, Tram is just a great dude. I don't know Jack very well. And Vladimir is great too. Just, you know, it'll be fun to see him because, you know, very well deserved. Just a special person to watch play baseball. Just the freaking nature how good he was.
Yeah, he did a very good job of making me feel terrible about my skill set.
I believe that.
He was amazing to watch.
He hit a ball over my head in Montreal that did not curve. So what I'm saying is it's a right-hander hitting a line drive over my head. Generally the ball's spinning a little bit sideways. It didn't curve. It went out the ballpark. I said, wow, I have never seen that.
Now son, Vladdy Jr.
Yeah, he's doing all right too. He's got some of the skills.
Is there anybody, now that you're a Hall of Famer, is there anybody you think about that you played with, that whether it's Wags or Billy Wags, or I mean, there are guys that you think should be in there that?
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe if Trevor is going to get in, I mean, I believe that Billy Wagner should be not getting, it should be at least getting more than 10% of the vote.
I completely agree
and
on that.
And I think Jeff Kent should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you got 1,500 RBIs, over 350, 70 home runs playing second base. Jeff caught everything he was hit to him and turned a good double play. I don't know what else you can ask for out of a guy playing. Let me tell you something. I play with him, and there's like 3 hitters that I would take up there in big situations. That would be Jeff Kent, Moises Alou, and Lance Berkman. Those are the guys that I just felt like were going to get hit, and I don't care who was pitching. So, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, Larry Walker obviously was a great player.
Man.
He could do everything.
He could mash.
He could. He could run the bases. He could throw.
Seems like they take some of his numbers down because of the time he spent at Coors. And
he could hit everywhere.
Todd Helton doesn't get as much love either because of that. Correa sends one to left center field. Well struck, and this ball will bounce up against the wall. Carlos Correa into second with a leadoff double in the bottom of the second inning.
That'll work. Have new shoes on today.
Yeah, going with the white shoes.
Yeah. It's all about the shoes.
Thanks, Mars.
Very nice.
He went out and got that one, though. That was an off-speed pitch out of third. We don't see him go out and get it.
Yeah, but you see how long his swing was through the baseball?
Because
stayed back.
That's what Jeff is talking about. Baggy talks about hitting off the fastball. He means talking about hitting off the fastball away. If you're thinking fastball away, you're thinking about letting the ball travel, and then you get a hanging changeup.
And you just stay, your hands stay back because your thought process is straight through the pitcher. Your hands stay back, and even you're out in front of, you can still square it up.
And your shoulders are square to the pitcher. You're not opening up.
Exactly.
Here's Kile coming in batting an even 300 on the season.
This guy does that as good as anybody right here.
You love watching this guy hit.
I mean, he wakes up out of bed in like December and hits line drives.
Carlos's side swing. Talk about it.
Watch his front leg gets up. Watch where his hands go. They stay there, and they're transfer right there, through the baseball.
That was a beautiful front shoulder.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
If that thing tilts a little bit to the left, it's a ground ball to short or a ground ball to third. Stay through it, it's a line drive to the gap. And staying through, that means the bat hit stays in the zone. It doesn't flip over. Like it did for me most of my career No, seriously. They asked me in spring training when I first came back, they said, you want to hit ground balls to short for spring training? I said, I've been doing that for 15 years. I don't want to hit anymore. I'm serious.
Do I need to pull up your baseball reference page?
No, yeah, but you see the good times. What was the bad times?
I was there for some of those too.
Yeah, I know you were.
They were still pretty good.
3-1 count to Kile. See if he tries to drive one towards right center here. Instead, he draws a walk upstairs. Kile doesn't draw a lot of walks.
He was ready to swing right there.
You can see him.
He didn't want that. He wanted. Uri's one of the few guys that get on top of that ball too. Gaddis hits it out of the ballpark. Uri gets on top of it.
Lumber's going to make sure.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go back, and I just got to say this real quick. Okay, Blumy's been making fun of me because I keep calling Uri, and the reason why is because one of my daughters watches Uri on Ice. This was a while back, so that's where it got. When I used to yell at the TV, you watching this Uri stuff again?
So it's in your head.
Now it's in my head, so that's why everybody's making fun of me, and I deserve every bit of it.
So when you say everybody, it's more than just Blumy?
Yeah. No, but Blumy was throwing it really good too.
Towards second, Merrifield flips, and the throw in time to get Gaddis by half a step. During this streak for the Astros, they've been hitting in some double plays.
First pitch breaking ball.
Gaddis is waiting to see if AJ might have a look at this one. Looked out initially, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yep. And no review. So 2 outs. On the play, Carlos Correa moves to third.
There's no coincidence either that our offense is starting to take off when Evan and then Marwin have been hit. It just lengthens our lineup very, very long. There's just no easy outs anywhere. Stassi does a great job of hitting left-handers. But Marwin, I mean, you gotta remember, he led our team in RBIs last year. He's a huge part to this ball club. I mean, as they all are, but you know, Marwin and where he hits, and being able to switch hit, everything that he can do, he's special. He gets, I don't think, you know, a lot of times you see a lot of the other big names, you know, rightfully so, they get a lot of attention, but Marwin deserves a lot also.
He definitely flies under the radar.
He does.
For a guy who's hitting .424 in the month of June.
Tell me somebody that does it better in baseball. Play every position.
Yeah, I wonder why that. I mean, he's an everyday player, but he doesn't have a position, so I don't know if that.
But I'll tell you
does that take away from?
Just don't take it for granted.
Yeah, you
can't take that for granted because there's nobody else that can do it like him.
Well, and they never will either because he drove in 90 runs last year, so they're going to pitch to him like he's the 90-run guy, no matter what the numbers say on the scoreboard. But he's been coming back pretty strong.
He has. I mean, you know, what a month ago he's hitting 220, 210.
Has it up to 257.
Now he's driving in runs. Yep. He's still a human rain delay at home plate, but watch when he fouls one off. Watch how long it takes.
Swing and a miss.
Oh no, he struck out. That doesn't count.
And the Astros, after a single or double and a walk, end up stranding one and not scoring.
Here we go. Where did you see your first Astros game in person? A, the Astrodome, or B, Minute Maid Park? Go to @ATT Sportsnet SW to cast your vote. Now, if you go back as far as Colt 45 Stadium, feel free to write that into your vote as well. Guys, up to you.
All right, Bart, thank you so much. Heading to the third inning with the top of the order for Kansas City. Whit Merrifield will lead things off. We still have a few of our viewers, more than a few, that have started their love for the Astros back when they were the Colt 45s. As Merrifield takes a pitch for ball one. Dallas so far allowing 3 hits. They have all been singles. Merrifield tried to hold up, but he goes around. It's 1-1.
It's a good pitch anyway, wasn't it?
Pretty close either way.
Yeah. Sorry if I sound like I'm sitting on my couch talking with you guys.
That's what it's supposed. That's what.
No, that's a good thing.
So that's good right there.
What'd you like about that pitch?
Well, it's 2 different pitches on two different eye angles. One is more of a breaking ball. The other one's more of like a cutter slider or whatever it was. Maybe it was a sinker, but it's a different plane, so it changes the eye level of the hitter, and it comes in at a different speed. So you got to be real good if you're a hitter to do that.
Well, that was the thing for me too, is he took a little bit off that slider a little bit. So it did. There's 3 elements: that up and down, left to right. Those are 2 dimensions, and then you pull a string like that, and it makes it that 3rd dimension. Makes it very hard.
Yeah, because if you're constantly, I don't care how hard you throw. You can throw 100 miles an hour nonstop at the same speed all the time. These guys are going to adjust to velocity. They will. I mean, all of us have done that. Blummy, you were a great fastball hitter. You know, velocity's fine. And if you're going to throw 100 miles an hour down the middle of the plate, we're going to square it up at some point.
As long as it ain't moving,
right?
We're good.
Exactly right. That's a key on that part right there.
Keep it straight, and we'll be all right.
See, stuff like that, that pitch right there, that changeup that goes away like that, that sets up the inside part of the plate right there because he's diving out over it. And I know it's a 2-0 count. He could even take something off, another changeup away. And that's the hard part against lefties like this. If you away, you got to really, really dial in on staying through the ball in the other way. And then you get that. That's the cat and mouse game.
That's the one Dallas wants for a strike.
He does. You're right. And that's very big for him to get that. But if he can get ahead, he'll get a swing out of that pitch.
There's a strike. We rarely see a start by Dallas where at some point he doesn't have a conversation with the home plate umpire on his way back to the dugout.
Well, he needs to.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not that he's going to get it, but he gets it in the umpire's mind that Dallas thinks it's a strike.
There you go.
So if you see it and then he says, oh, that's what Dallas, but he's not saying that, oh, that's what Dallas said. What he's doing is it's in his mind that maybe that was kind of close. And maybe he throws it in the same spot again, he might get the call.
Well, I'm sure he's got to remind umpires, too, that, you know, don't wait for my pitch to be in the zone. Stay on the edge for me. I'm not a guy that if the entire baseball's in the zone, he has a tendency to get hurt.
Bregman nicely cutting in front of Carlos Correa for the out.
That's the key, Blummy, is what you said. If he has to stay in the middle of the plate, that's where he can get hurt. So he needs those balls in the outside part or the inside part.
Yeah, Dallas Keuchel, when he's going right, too, he's a guy you love to play behind.
Yeah.
Because you're always on your toes, and that's what I think allows Alex Bregman to come that far across to the left and make that play, because you're anticipating ball being put in play.
Oh yeah, you're constantly moving around because the ball can be put in play all the time on all 4 different types of pitches he's throwing.
Mike Moustakas takes a pitch a little bit inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Moose grounded out to Altuve his first time up. Nothing new for Dallas giving up singles. In that start against Texas 2 starts ago, 12 of his 13 hits were singles.
Yeah, it's just, you know, even if you give up a home run, as long as it's a solo, you know, Dallas is going to give up some hits. But you know, our defense, we have a great defensive club. You know, a lot of people, you know, they look at all the other things, but I mean, our guys are good. I mean, Bregman, he has been incredible. His progress at third base. We already talked about Carlos. Obviously, Altuve's great. Yuri does a great job at first base in a position that he's not used to playing. He's getting used to it now, feeling a lot more comfortable. And never mind, our outfielders are as good as anybody in the game out there. So that's what you need when you have Dallas, because balls are going to be put in play.
Well, it's incredible that you have that good of an infield, and one of your better defenders in the infield too is playing left field.
Yeah,
Marwin's a pretty good infielder.
Yeah, and he made that play. I don't know if I brought it up last time in Oakland.
Yeah.
He was running in on a ball and threw it on the run. Really getting away with it.
Well hit, but right at Yuli Gurriel to end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Dallas.
The Astros go undefeated on the road, and El Oso Blanco gets hugs for homers. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show, only on AT&T Sportsnet.
We go to the bottom of the third inning. Astros and Royals scoreless. Max Stassi, Jake Marisnick, then the top of the order. This is the part of the order that's really stepped up during this winning streak and also for the last month or so.
Stassi's had some big hits for us.
And that was what was missing a little bit in April and even into May. That turning that lineup over wasn't happening as consistently as it has been lately.
Yeah, but you know what, TK, that also goes back to what we were talking about earlier this year. I mean, we got spoiled last year. I mean, our 7, 8, 9 last year was ridiculous. Like, they were comparing it to 3, 4, 5 and other teams.
Really were.
I mean, that's just not normal. But these guys, to their credit, man, they keep battling. And they're coming back, and they're doing a great job. These guys have had some really big hits for us.
Stassi, his first year getting a chance to play on a regular basis, has really hit well, especially against left-handers. 352 with an OPS over 1,000.
Well, I like how Baggy says big hits. Stassi's hit some mega bombs.
Yes.
Longest one of the year for the Astros out there in Texas. He had a big one off Duffy last time too.
Kenny Duffy, after allowing 7 runs in his last start against the Astros, has gone through the first 2 innings without allowing a run, and now Stassi pops one foul. 28-year-old left-hander.
I didn't realize he threw that hard.
Yeah.
Who doesn't throw hard nowadays?
Right? Dallas is becoming a rarity.
Yeah, he is.
Guys
He
that live around 90 with a fastball is unusual now.
And that's the tough thing too, because you know when Dallas does that, when you got the rest of our guys who throw 98 miles an hour, they see Dallas pitch and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with that?" There's nothing wrong with that. He's a pitcher, is what he is. He's not a thrower. They all are, and they all pitch well. You know, every single one of our guys, and that's why they're so special.
Into center field, Escobar making his first start there with the Royals. Puts it away.
Yeah, but that's the definition of a pitcher. Dallas has to be real good all the time. He can't make mistakes in the middle of the plate. Our other guys, I mean, you know, Justin and Cole and you know McCullers and Charlie. I mean, they can make some mistakes, but they can pitch too. But Dallas has to be different. He's a different pitcher. But that also helps our team also when you know other teams not used to seeing him. You know, they see all fastballs and great curveballs and stuff. So Dallas just has to pitch, but
that one hits Jake Marisnick, who reaches first base with 1 out. Bring up a guy who's been pretty hot here in the month of June at home.
No Player Does More is presented by HEB. George at home in June, 357 batting average at OPS at 1236. A lot of that due to the fact that he has been crushing the baseball here at Minute Maid Park in June. 3 home runs. He has also scored 7 runs. Talk about that prodigious power that he does have. Even some of the mistakes off the end of the bat end up in those Crawford boxes. But he knows when he gets a hold of one. The one the other night was 436 feet over the gas pump in left center.
Yeah, his power is insane. If he can start to harness this even more than he already is, it's going to be dangerous. He's fun to watch. It really is.
And he's not afraid to swing and hit home runs with 2 strikes either.
No.
Over a third of his home runs have come with 2 strikes. As he takes one here, it's 1-1.
I just think that the way the game is going, it seems like more and more athletes are out there. But even as many athletes that are in there aren't many like George.
No, there's not. He's different.
Yeah.
You know, his ability is off the charts. It really, really is. And I'm glad we have him. He's another guy, man. He's just fun to watch. He's fun to be around. He makes everybody laugh. He's like the leader of the clowns that are down there.
He definitely keeps it loose, that's for sure.
He does.
There's never a moment, or rarely a moment, we don't see him chatting with somebody in the outfield after something humorous. 2-1 count here with Marisnick on first, and now it's 3-1.
Now, see, here's your pitch right here. Where you're George. Now, what are you thinking?
Oh, center cut fastball.
Well, yeah. What you want is just his shoulders to stay square and stay like, I'm going to drive this pitch right over the second baseman's head or at the Chevrolet sign or Lexus, whatever you want to go. The rest will take care of itself. You don't want anything in right here because I'm sure he's not looking in.
So you're looking to get extended and shoot one towards towards center.
I'm looking at something outside of the middle of the plate. If it goes to center, it goes to left, that's fine. But just stay through the baseball.
And he gets one in.
He's not looking for that pitch, and he missed where he was trying to throw the ball. And that's another thing that you have. Everybody talks about. We go back and look at it. And, oh, he wasn't trying to throw there, but you didn't look at it, so now you're thinking that he was pitching me in. He wasn't pitching you in.
That was some of the most frustrating times. Yeah. You're going, wow, he really got me on that pitch, and you find out he wasn't even trying to throw it there.
Now you're really even more mentally messed up than you were beforehand.
It's easy to do.
Yeah.
Jake's on the move here with 1 out and a full count. He stays, and the pitch is inside, ball 4. Duffy didn't miss by much on a couple of those pitches to Springer. You get a 3-2 changeup there?
I think he did, yeah. But he yanked it too.
He did. It wasn't where he was trying to throw it.
He's not afraid to throw the changeup to the Astros last start. And here's Alex Bregman. Bregman struck out swinging his first time up.
You don't see Alex swinging and missing like he did in that first at-bat very often.
Not at all.
He was pretty irritated about that, knowing Alex.
And you know he's excited about having runners on, too.
Checking out the team leaders in OPS, on-base percentage plus slugging percentage during the off day. Altuve's at the top of the list, but then Bregman, Correa, and Springer are all pretty much at the exact same number.
Those are your studs. You know, those are the guys that keep the train moving all the time. A little help from their friends. That's why we got 50 wins.
Yeah, I was going to say, I really like writing in the RBI totals in the top part of this lineup. I mean, the first 6 guys, you've got to be kidding me. 42, 42, 39, 47, 31,
right
47.
The clump.
It's not one dude.
Yeah, it's not one dude.
Yeah.
Same thought process here for Alex on a 2-0 count?
Yes. And the thing is, Alex can be real quick. He's great. He's got great hands, but there it is.
High drive to left field. Gets under it a little bit, and Alex Gordon in that little nook and cranny in the outfield there beyond the Crawford boxes makes the catch. Didn't miss it by much.
Nope.
Good pitch to hit. Salvador Perez setting up outside, but
yeah,
that is right where you want it.
You know, and that's the thing, guys. This is just baseball, man.
You just go ahead, because I know where you're going with this.
No, I mean, it's so hard, and you're doing everything you're supposed to do right, and then he misses by 3 inches. That costs you a pop. What do you got for me?
Well, and it's right down the middle, and you get it. Your eyes grow, your hands get excited. All of a sudden, you're too quick to it. And you pop it up, and you're just going, "Oh my God!"
He's biting right now. He's biting the end of his back going down the tunnel.
But if it was a fastball away, he hits a rocket the other way.
Yeah. That's the game, man. This is why we go crazy in this game. It's not that easy. It's not easy like number 27 makes it look almost every night.
No doubt.
But he still goes crazy too. You know, I've never seen anybody go 1,000 for 1,000.
That'd be impressive.
It would be really impressive.
It's funny because in the past, Altuve's exit velocity numbers haven't been as high. This year, he's hitting line drives everywhere. I mean, he gets those little flip hits a lot and ground ball hits on the infield, but this year he seems to be.
Well, see, now you guys are proving my points all the time. His exit velocity is not always the greatest,
right?
And he's hitting 347.
Exactly.
Who cares? He gets knocks.
I would say he's just a guy that gets hits.
He's just special.
Now he's got a hitter's count.
You think Tony Gwynn was thinking about exit velocity? Wade Boggs?
No.
Barry Sheffield, maybe.
Yeah.
No, he was just trying to hurt the baseball.
He was so mad.
Yes. You know, I think also with Altuve, you guys tell me if you think I'm crazy. I think he's an optical illusion to the pitcher. He looks like he's standing in the dugout, how far he is away, and he still covers 7 inches off the outside part. Because he's small, and it looks like he's way away from home plate, and he can't hit it. So I don't think the pitcher has like a visual exactly where he wants to throw the baseball. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does.
No, it does.
I mean, when we look at him from front, he looks how far he looks. I mean, look at that. Look how far the plate is away from him.
And then that stride is right towards the plate. Yeah.
But he is the prototypical of keeping his shoulder straight through the baseball.
Yeah, he can.
His butt can be in the back over here. He can do all kinds of stuff, and he still hits it with power to right center even.
Yeah, and that's because of where the hand position is. It doesn't matter where that lower body can leave them every once in a while, but the hands are always back in a good place to fire and get some juice behind it.
But you still have to put the disclaimer down on the bottom of the thing. Don't try this at home.
Yeah, do not try and replicate.
Yeah, do not try and do this.
Altuve,
special.
8 for 17 against Duffy. He'll have a 3-2 pitch coming, so both runners will be off with 2 outs. Duffy's been living at around 96 tonight. Through some 97s in there. So this pitcher knows it's not 5 at bats and Altuve has 2 or 3 hits. It's 17 at bats and Altuve has 8 hits. So he knows Altuve's put some good swings on.
He's won every award in Major America the last year.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think he won an Oscar too. I don't know what he gave him everything.
Got the Heisman.
Got a CMA.
The Heisman.
He's got a CMA, Grammy.
Yeah, I'll take that.
He took our
I'll
own
take that
Emmy.
Stanley Cup. That thing looks awesome.
Yeah, we had that the other night.
Did you?
No, we had that on our national Stropel.
Yeah, that thing would. It looks like a good time to hang out with that thing, huh? It's got a personality of its own.
Yeah, I want to go with him and Ovechkin somewhere.
Ground ball towards short. And Mondesi will make the play to first, so the Astros leave 2 on. We head to the 4th, scoreless.
No.
Enjoy all the dollar dogs you can eat this Tuesday when the Astros take on the Blue Jays. First time this year, the Astros will see Toronto. For tickets, visit astros.com/dollardogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Salvador Perez leads things off and drives one, pops one up to left field. Marwin Gonzalez is there. And that's one pitch and one out in the 4th inning.
We've got a power pitcher. It's brought to you by your local Ford dealers. And it's Darryl Kile, 7 seasons with the Houston Astros, 3.79 ERA, 973 strikeouts, and that is the final out of his no-hitter that he threw back on September 8th of 1993. And today marks the anniversary of Darryl Kile's passing away. And I know that had a huge impact on the guy to my left, Jeff Bagwell, who spent 7 years with Darryl Kile here in Houston.
Yeah, Darryl was one of my best friends. You know, most all of my relationships around me now have been, you know, because of baseball. You know, we're sitting here together because of baseball. And, you know, and back in 1991 when I met Darryl, the save-in in Kissimmee, Florida, he came in. He was my roommate. We made the big leagues together and became best friends. And you know, he died 16 years ago, which, if it wasn't, it was close to my worst day of my life so far. At 32 years old, to get a phone call from Moises Alou when he was playing in Chicago that Darryl had passed. I didn't want to believe it. It was just an unbelievable feeling. I had my daughter who was 1 year old. I was in her room, and I mean, I've never cried like that. I came late to the ballpark. I didn't play, obviously, and you know, just kind of a weird deal. I mean, at 32 years old, you know, and especially as an athlete, you don't think that anything could be wrong. And, you know, literally, I should have known. You know, Darryl's died. Darryl's dad died young at 44 from a heart problem. So it was a very, very emotional thing for me that to this day I still think about Darryl all the time. We had plans to go fishing throughout the world after we were done playing, and you know, his family with the kids and Flynn, and you know, it was a big moment. You know, I miss him very much, and he was a great pitcher, but he was a great person, a great father, great husband. You know, somebody that played the game and did the right things in the game. He learned how to be a professional from Doug Drabeck here, and Darryl taught that to Matt Morris. Down the line, he was what was good in baseball, and he is truly missed. And so all you kids see that DK over there by the pump, that's for Darryl Kile. And you can look him up. He was a great person and missed very much.
And on that day, you, Bish, and Brad Ausmus did not play that day, and we couldn't pull out the W in a regular 9 innings. And something unique happened in the 12th inning that day too. What was that experience like? Yeah,
I mean, I couldn't barely breathe that day. And Gar went through everybody. Eventually came to me and said, "Do you think you can pinch hit?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess." And I went up, and honestly I couldn't see. My eyes were bloodshot. I'm facing John Hoam, and I hit a base hit to right to win it. And the thing, you know, whether you do or don't believe in stuff, I mean, I believe that Darryl had something to do with that. And if you see the reaction of my teammates, you see generally now you see everybody crashing, everybody punching each other all over the place. It was not like that when I got that. They just came up basically and hugged me and stuff like that because of what Darryl meant. And you know, a lot of people, you know, suffered because, you know, the St. Louis, you know, and Colorado where he played, but here in Houston where he started, and you know, Darryl and I being best friends. But you know what? I'm a better person because I know Darryl. Or I knew Darryl, and I still think of him almost every day. So that's my Darryl Kile story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go.
I miss him.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think it's been 16 years.
Yeah, it really is.
Because, like you said, he's so much a part of your thoughts on a daily basis in 2018. Lost a great person in 2002.
You do, but you know, it puts things in perspective. And you know, a lot of times in life, sometimes, you know, especially athletes and celebrities and stuff, you just take things for granted, and you know, nothing can get at you. Man, death can happen, you know, and it can happen to anybody. And you know, cherish the people you have in your life. Make sure you tell them how much they mean to you, because you just never know.
A couple of flyouts to start the inning, and now Alex Gordon draws a 2-out walk. First walk issued by Dallas Keuchel.
No, I was in that ball game, and I remember that you walking that thing off, and it, like you said, instead of being that thrashing celebration, it was more of just an embrace after the game. But for the guys, I was 5 years into my career, and I didn't actually know Darryl Kile, but to see the effect it had on you guys was pretty incredible. But to watch you go out and get that hit,
Yeah, that's crazy.
a lot of us, especially a couple of us who were kind of new to the situation, and we just sat back and we went, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
That was really the only way it could have ended that day.
I agree, and this is my opinion. That's a God thing for me.
Yep.
I just people say that, but that was mine. I mean, I've had a bunch in my life. But that particular moment for me, not being able, honestly, really to see, to get that hit and to win on that day it was something special, and I totally believe that Darryl had a bunch to do with that.
The emotions with you the whole day in the dugout, or was it when you walked on the field that it got even worse?
No, it started from when I got the phone call at 2 o'clock.
So when Gar asked you, you're like, I'm going to try and figure out how to do this.
Yeah, he came right up and he talked to Craig and I, and said, "You guys aren't playing today," and I didn't do anything. I was in the back room, in Dennis's back room, and I just stayed there and cried the entire day. And, I went out to the dugout and cheered the boys on, and of course we went 12 innings. But that was just the way it was meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
On such a sad day, there was a little bit of joy, but nothing could take away the bad feelings I had about what happened to Darryl that day.
2-1 pitch to Escobar is a little low, and now it's 3-1.
But I am grateful. I really am grateful that I met Darryl. Because we have such a great thing where we can meet a fraternity of people that care about the same thing, and the relationships we made, and to cherish those things and be just grateful that we have them. It really makes this game very, very special.
Well, I still reference him every once in a while with some of the breaking balls that we see in this organization with this starting rotation. And, TK will ask me, or I'll have people on Twitter ask me, best curveball you ever saw. Hands down, the easiest call for me is Darryl Kile, because I saw him in the early 2000s. A lot of people like to talk about spin rates. I could hear.
Yeah, you got a good one.
I could hear his breaking ball coming in.
Yeah, he had a great curveball, and when he was real good, he had 3 different speeds on his curveball, and when he had command of that and his fastball, I mean, it was lights out. And that's why he threw a no-hitter. He was special, and then he went on to help with Matt Morris, who had a great curveball also.
That's true. He did bring that breaking ball over there with some of those guys.
He did.
Carpenter.
Because the game, after a while, people weren't throwing curveballs anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
It was all sliders and cutters.
Well, and the split, finger, caught fire.
Yeah.
But that traditional
curveball.
12-6.
And now the curveball's back, and that's an easy way to think about Darryl. Is he was one of those dudes that had the traditional curveball, the big one.
Paulo Orlando bats after a couple of walks and a couple of outs. I was actually working for the Mets in 1993. Remember talking to the guys after that game, and there weren't a lot of hard hit outs that game. The no-hitter.
No. The funny part is he was a no-hitter. He won 4-1.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you how he won that. How he got one. I can tell you
We're going to have to tell next inning. All right, Jake Marisic's going to put this one away to strand 2. The story of the 4-1 no-hitter when we come back. Darryl Kile passing away 16 years ago today. Bottom half of the fourth inning, Royals and Astros scoreless. Todd Kile, Jeff Blum, Jeff Bagwell joining us. Monthly visit up in the booth. All right, you said there was a 4-1 game in favor of the Astros. The no-hitter, you don't see a lot of runs scored in a no-hitter.
Yeah.
How did
well,
happen?
Darryl, he walked a guy. Guy gets to first base. Darryl throws a hook to Butch Husky.
Yep.
Hits him in the foot. Okay, the umpire doesn't see it. Ball rolls towards our dugout. The ball rolls towards our dugout. I see that the umpire doesn't call, but it definitely hit Husky. I run to go pick it up. The guy from first is rounding second, going to third. I pick it up and whip it towards third base. One-hop Caminiti, who I've been picking up all year, he misses it. The guy scores.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Thanks a lot,
On a hit
Cammy.
batter.
Yeah. On a hit batter that
Which
the
you can't
umpire
review
missed. We
back
can't
then.
review it back then.
Can we give it a wave?
I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, I'm too scared of him. I wasn't going to say anything to him.
You didn't come on, Ken.
Well, yeah, but I said it from all the way across because there's nobody in the stands back then, so I could say it over there. Thanks a lot.
Well, the good news was the no-hitter was still intact.
It was.
And he could work
And
out
that's
the
what I
windup.
wrote on the thing afterward. I put Darryl, I said, sorry about the one run.
That much more memorable.
True, it was.
That's hilarious. Carlos Correa leads off bottom half of the fourth inning. Carlos doubled to the wall in left center his first time up.
I mean, you know, we've talked about a lot about Carlos Correa. I mean, you know, I'm not critical of Carlos. This kid has so much ability, and I don't even realize it. He does so much that I don't think I appreciate it as much. You know, and we pulled up something Blummy had earlier about what he has done in the last 162 games. I mean, these are incredible numbers.
Yeah, our Shiner Box spotlight's going to fall on Carlos Correa. And these are the numbers that Baggy's talking about. 162 games. The last 162 he's played. That is a 300 average, 35 home runs, 126 RBIs, and 120 runs scored. And Baggy and I kind of joked a little bit. We do have high expectations of Carlos Correa. We almost feel it could be a little bit better.
I do. I swear I do.
Those are MVP numbers.
Those are ridiculous. I think everybody in the world would take those things. And maybe it is. Maybe I just there's so much in Carlos that it's not that he's not doing it, that I just see he could be one of those dudes that, like, wow.
Yeah, not maybe to the point of 45, 50 home runs, but something like a 40, but 150.
Yeah, but I can't even push. I can't even say that he couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the ability is there.
Absolutely. If he put his mind to, he's 23,
that's
24.
the problem that we have to get. We have to get to understand it.
Well, that's where I have issues with Lance McCullers sometimes, and I got to remind myself the guy's 24 years old.
I know.
They're still learning how to play the game with this phenomenal talent.
And I'm always on here talking about we're spoiled. The fans are spoiled. Well, I guess I'm spoiled.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, because I sit there and go, wow, if I could have had that, what? I mean, you know, and if you look at those numbers, man, the kid's done a great job.
Yes.
You know, he's professional. He's won a World Series. I mean, he's special. That's all I'm saying. He's so special that the numbers just could be.
Well, maybe
great.
that's the thing we should talk about is maybe it could be better and it will get better.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has it. And you know what? Carlos has that in him. He has that desire to be the best player on the field. And you know what? You have to have that. I don't care who's on the field next to him. You got to sit there and say, I'm the best player. That's how you become better.
You mentioned the work ethic before when we were talking about him defensively. He and Altuve, when your stars work as hard as they do, it sets the tone.
You know, and that's such a big thing,
I can
TK.
vouch for that sitting next to you and understanding that. It has a huge impact on everybody else in that clubhouse.
Well, it does, and there's a responsibility that comes to being that dude. You gotta go out there and you gotta show. This is part of the reason why I am who I am, is because I work hard, I do the right things, little things that people don't see, that maybe the other players do see, and say, wow, man, did you see what he did on that ball in the gap? Did you see how he went to third and he saw the ball in front of home place and he took the extra base? Little things like that that take you to a level that's different than everybody else. I heard that a bunch this week about Mike Trout. He just does stuff that people just don't normally see. The problem is for us as baseball fans, we don't get to see Trout all the time. You know, and people in New York, they don't see. If Trout played in New York, come on, man. I mean, he's special, and he does everything right. The last time, it was a couple years ago, I saw him here, and I went, damn, that dude out there, he just looks like he's better than everybody. There's just like an aura to him. You know, I talk about a lot of, like, guys at home plate, people that control the batter's box. Like, you might not get a hit, but you're in control when you're in there. You're in control of what's going on, what the pitcher, all that kind of stuff. Even though you might be mentally out of your mind up there, but you control the batter's box with your actions and the way you look. And that's what Carlos has. There is something about him that you just see that this could be something that we've never seen before. And the closest thing that I remember is probably A-Rod when he was with Seattle.
Same type frame.
Yeah.
Line drive. Merrifield down to a knee to make the catch. Another line drive from Yuli.
Shocking.
2 away. Well, Duffy's done a nice job bouncing back after a rough outing the last time against the Astros. Lasted 6 innings in that one, but it gave up 7 runs, 6 of them earned in those 6 innings. Tonight he's allowed just 1 hit. He's hit a batter, and he has walked 2, now facing Evan Gattis. What have you seen with Evans at bats lately?
He's trying to hurt somebody.
That simple?
Yeah, and not somebody behind home plate, somebody in the stands in left field. I mean, he's got a plan. He has a plan before he gets to the batter's box. What he works on in the cage and in BP, and then he just goes to hacking once he gets in there. I mean, nothing pretty about how he takes the ball, nothing like that, but he's mean. He just wants to hurt somebody.
Not chasing like he might have been earlier in the year.
He doesn't.
Yeah. It seems like his strike zone's been better organized.
And you can't find a nicer guy, a guy that doesn't care as much as Gat does. I mean, you can't help but root for Gat.
Towards third. Big hop for Moose. Mike Moustakas makes the play. And a 1-2-3 inning for Danny Duffy in the 4th. We are scoreless heading to the 5th. During our hot buy sale, low prices in every department. Buy Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. And buy Volkswagen. 5th inning baseball, scoreless game so far. A couple of lefties, Dallas Keuchel and Danny Duffy, locked into a scoreless duel. Keuchel facing the number 9 hitter, Adalberto Mondesi. Remember his dad a little bit, huh?
I do. Human fire hydrant.
Raul Mondesi.
He could run. He could hit for power.
How about the arm?
He had a great arm. He got rolling. When he got rolling, you got to get out of the way. I don't care who you are.
That's the guy who could break up a double play.
Yeah. And guess what? I guarantee you, Blummy or any other second baseman, shortstop knew it too.
Oh, those guys get on first base? Yeah,
Scott
you know.
Rowland.
Yep. Jeez. Yeah, that was a good
6'4", as wide as the batter's eye.
He was.
Just can't do it.
It's amazing to me to see some of these double plays. Guy just stands on the bag and catches it and throws it.
I know. I mean, guys are going to get hurt. I know, but it kind of takes away. For me, it takes away what's another part of the game as far as stuff you do as teammates when guys do that. You know,
Well, there's a
break up
certain
a double play.
strategy to it, yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's just I don't know. It is what it is.
Fortunately, I don't think it's going back.
No. No, now they're even starting to talk about can't shift anymore. I don't know what they want us to do. They tell you they want us to hit home runs, but then they're getting mad because everybody's rolling the ball over to short or striking out. So I don't understand that.
I mean, the offense is down.
Yeah. Batting average is down.
Yep.
Strikeouts are up.
Well, it's lift and separate on the offensive side, and then everybody's throwing 95, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, so you're going to strike out a lot. If that's your plan to lift and separate, and some guys throwing 100 miles an hour, there's going to be a lot of strikeouts. Yep.
Swing and a miss. Dallas gets Mondesi for the first out of the 5th.
Young hitter and Mondesi, really, it's a tough matchup with that changeup because young hitters like to go out there and be aggressive on the fastball, but you get a real good idea of what Dallas is trying to do.
You're 100% right, Bummy. When you face a guy like Dallas, and for my era, it was Tom Glavine. Dallas is a little different because he pitches in more than Tom Glavine did. But I have to go up there thinking, I'm not going to hit a home run. Especially with Tom Glavine. I got to hit a base hit to right and just move the line down the road. And hopefully we can get something together. You got to be, as a right-handed hitter, it's very hard for a right-handed hitter to sell out hitting a line drive to right. I don't know what it is. It seems like lefties look pretty. They can do it.
Well, having switch hit, it was way easier for me to go the other way than it was right-handed.
Right. And I don't know why that is, but that's what I had to do in order to be successful off of guys like that. I just took away thinking about going deep.
Did you ever have days where you went out there and just went out, just sold out, got your base hit going the other way, and then picked a spot later in the game to maybe try and go deep?
Not off of Glab.
Yeah.
No, because he's just not going to do it.
He just wouldn't give in.
I mean, I don't know if it ended up, you guys would know. I don't think he ever gave up a grand slam.
Really?
Ever.
Wow.
He just doesn't give in. He threw me a 3-0 changeup in spring training once, and I flew out to right field. Yeah.
Did you say so?
Yes, I did. I ran by him. I said, what the heck, Glab? He goes, well, I'm going to throw it to you during the season.
Go ahead and get used to it, right?
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's already embarrassing that I'm hitting 100 in spring training.
How did you ever make a big league team?
1 year. 1991.
There you go.
That's
Got
it.
the hardware and said that's it.
That's it. Matt Galante had to keep telling Jerry Hunsaker, I swear he's going to be okay during the season.
But Merrifield bats with 1 out and the base is empty, and Dallas has a couple of strikeouts this inning. That's now 4 in the game for Dallas Keuchel. 2018 Astros Buddies memberships presented by BBVA Compass are available for kids 12 and under. Buddies receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, cap, socks, and exclusive benefits throughout the year for just $25 plus tax. Visit astros.com/buddies today to sign up.
Man, I don't know about you, Bummy, but I'd rather face a guy that throws 100 over guys like Dallas.
Oh, man, you know me well enough to know that I would go for that any day of the week.
Rosell Herrera hits one hard to the gap. This will be the first extra base hit of the night for the Royals. Marisnick gets it back in as Herrera has a 2-out double.
Can you name the guys that you raked off of? We're going to help you out. A couple of Hall of Famers.
339 going the other way against Glavine.
Well, how about the other way? What?
No, that was early in his career. He tried to throw me one fastball in. That's it.
So what were the other 2?
I don't know. I don't remember.
A couple of Hall of Famers, guys you're going to be sitting next to here in a couple weeks, right?
Hideo Nomo. Poor Hideo Nomo. I had all his pitches. They love me in Japan. They're like, how does this guy do this?
2 grand slams he gave up, just looking up his...
It's 2?
2. A lot of years of baseball.
A lot. Yeah, 307 wins, right?
Yep.
I think it took a while for him to give up that one, the first one.
The first one?
Probably when he was with the Mets.
Yeah, you're up there amongst the leaders with those 3 home runs against him. In terms of who he gave up home runs to.
He just never gave in at all.
Piazza hit 6, Bonds hit 5.
Oh, I can imagine Pizza hit 6. Because he can lay that
big,
huge lumber.
Yeah, he covered that outside corner, man.
Yeah, there's no way Glab has anything to get to that. I mean, Piazza
even with that strike zone he was working with.
Matter.
Dallas gets a strike at the knees there. Ahead of Moustakas 0-2, and now the crowd getting into it with 2 outs.
Pitch.
Gary Sheffield hit 6 against Glavine, and then one guy who would surprise you,
I'm actually shocked about that.
J-Roll hit 6. Jimmy Rollins
Really?
hit 6 home runs against Tom Glavine.
I wouldn't be surprised if J-Roll hit left-handed off him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see how that goes. Sheffield, I don't know how he keeps a ball fair off of Glavine.
Yeah.
You could literally throw a changeup right at his belly button. He'd hit it over here, over the dugout every single time. Him and Vladimir.
By the way, you are so humble. 1,051 OPS against Tom Glavine in your career. You walked 22 times and 66 ABs.
That the walk is part of my strategy. You get one hit, get a walk, 1 for 3, could take it to the house.
Call it the rope-a-dope. You just
That's
lull
it.
him to sleep and then smash him.
That is part of my game. If I didn't walk, I'd hit 220.
1-2 the count to Moose, and a swing and a miss. Dallas ends up striking out 3 in the inning. We are halfway home. Astros and Royals scoreless.
Quite a pitcher's duel going, and that makes a perfect segue into my interview with the Astros' second-round pick. And he is having one heck of a game. Great seats here, and Jason Schroeder is having a blast. You've had a chance to meet some of the players, meet A.J. Hinch. You've done, by my count, 2 press conferences already. This is your 3rd interview session. What a day, huh?
Yeah, it's been a lot to take in.
So walk me through it. You're watching the draft on TV, and you see yourself drafted by the defending world champion. So what was that like?
I mean, it was a rush of emotions. Obviously, we had a bunch of friends and family there. They're all going crazy and everything. But yeah, it's still a lot to take in. But we're going.
Yeah. So you get up here and you get a jersey with your name on it. And you get to go to the clubhouse and meet the players. How much fun was that?
Yeah, that's been a blast. But a lot of hard work still put in over the summer, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get focused on that when you're sitting here with, this close to the major league action. But tell us where you go first. What's your first step?
Down to West Palm Beach, Florida, I believe, the spring training complex.
Okay.
And Florida Gulf Coast League, I'm assuming, and that's as far as I know.
So a chance to really recognize your lifelong dream of playing in the bigs. And as you say, a lot of work to go through in the process. But as you probably know, this franchise does such a great job developing young pitchers. What a great opportunity for you, huh?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things from these guys. Just excited to get going and get out there and start playing.
And he's down here with his father, Jamie. Jamie, congratulations. Your son gets to recognize his lifelong dream of playing in the big leagues, or at least gets the opportunity to do that. 6'2", 200-pound right-hander, guys who threw a perfect game in high school with 17 strikeouts. So the stuff is definitely there. Jason, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Best of luck to you. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Bart, thank you. And that's a kid who was a second-round draft pick by the Astros. Really the only one of their first 15 or 20 picks that was out of high school. They went heavy on the college kids this year in the draft, but good to see a kid just 18 years old, who's ready to start his professional career.
Yeah, what a moment. I remember when the Red Sox brought me to Fenway after I signed. Oh, no, that wasn't me. Never mind. He didn't do that. I'm just kidding. No, but that's, I mean, think about it.
Fourth rounders.
No, I know. What I'm kidding is, I mean, imagine showing up here. I mean, sitting here watching the world champs. Know you just got drafted at 19, 18.
Shoot, when we got drafted, you get drafted by a world champion. You're going to sit in the minor leagues for about 6 years.
Your father's already figured out how am I going to get up there. But you know what? I tell you, but even, I mean, great for that kid, man. What a thrill. Get a chance to come up here and see this.
Max Stassi goes down looking. Strikeout number 6 for Danny Duffy. The Astros today signing their second-round pick, who you just saw, Jason Schroeder, and also their fourth-round pick, Alex McKenna, out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. They have signed their first 11 picks of this year's draft.
Bud Norris's old school, Cal Poly San Luis.
Casey Candell's from there.
Hey.
Wow, what a throw for that kid. I mean, can you imagine being 18 again, doing this all over again?
Man, that'd be great.
God.
Could be good or bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure I'm going to go with that one. I'm just going to leave that.
Here's Jake Marisnik. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. Jake with a count of 1-2. He's been hitting the ball better his last 7 games, 5 for his last 13.
He has, for sure he has.
Jake's one of those guys that brings so much defensively that AJ tries to work him into the lineup even when he has struggled at times offensively.
He can cover some ground out there, can't he?
Yeah.
I saw him to right center the other day, and I was like, wow.
And when he can get a hold of one, he doesn't hit wall scrapers.
No, he's got tons of power.
That one catches the outside corner. Jake didn't think so. Duffy gets the call for his 7th strikeout. Danny Duffy's retired 8 in a row. We head to the 6th scoreless.
Is baggy.
What I do.
A couple of days from now, it'll be the anniversary of the time you hit 3 home runs in the Dome. Yeah. Only one other Astro has done that, and only 3 people have done it in the history of the Astrodome, going deep 3 times. A couple RBIs in that game, too.
Yeah, 6.
Well, you were talking about going the other way, that right next to that scoreboard, nicely leaking it out of that right field
you
section.
You got to plan that. That's how good I was.
Yeah, I know you can manipulate
the ball over there. Yeah. Rudy singing his, I think it was.
Jimmy Wynn was the other one, the toy cannon.
Yeah,
and then
Alfonso.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Last year, the Dome.
That'll be the last 3. You know, they're trying to redo it, I think, or something.
Yeah, they're kind of refurbishing it right
that's
now.
What the word is, yeah.
Yeah. Have it all up and running shortly. May look a little different.
I was thinking about that kid that we drafted right there. I went to Cape Cod recently to see these kids play in college and all. Just
You went to some Cape Cod games?
I did.
Nice.
My best friend has a kid that was playing there. It's just amazing to see how how excited kids are, and how it's such a big thing that sometimes we lose or we forget about.
Barwin calling off Correa at the last minute, and Carlos got out of the way just in time.
Just the joy of baseball and getting a chance to play. I mean, the older and the saltier we get as we get older.
Who was your Cape team? Who'd you play with?
I played for Chatham.
I was a Brewster Whitecap.
You were. That's where my friend's son was playing.
But I felt like when I was in college, I played the Alaska Winter League the year before. But when they said, "Hey, we want you to go to Cape Cod," I almost felt like I got called up.
That's what it is.
Man,
it's a big deal.
It was an honor to play in that Cape Cod league.
Yeah, I played against some really.
The competition's unbelievable.
Robin Ventura was there. Albert Bell, who used to be Joey Bell.
Mm-hmm.
That's what got me over the edge, where I said, "Man, I can play with these dudes." But I was just looking at that kid's face. Just how excited he is. It's kind of neat, because sometimes we do forget how great we've had it. All the blessings we've had. We talked about Darryl, and I'm sitting here with you guys, and Blummy, I played with you. We were at the games. It's just what a great thing that we have in this game, just to be able to come out here and get paid to play something that kids like this kid that just got drafted and so excited to do.
Well, you talk about the fraternity that is baseball, and Blummer had a chance recently to play in the Hall of Fame Classic.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the cool
was awesome.
Yeah.
And so he got to be over there in Cooperstown. Now you will do that on an annual basis now, and regroup with the same guys year in and year out and tell stories on the patio there. That's a cool deal.
It is. I mean, for me, I go back, for the other guys that get in, because it's such a neat deal, and the respect, for other guys to show up for them like guys showed up for me. The stories are fun. I mean, I don't want to tell stories. I want to hear somebody like, Bob Gibson, when he calls me over and says, "I'd have got you out of that crouch." And I'm like, "Oh,
did he say that to you?
Swear to God,
That's awesome."
Did he really?
And I was like, "Oh my God." But he's the nicest guy in the world. But I mean, that's what I wanted him to say.
Yeah, you almost wanted to say something like that.
That's what I want to hear. I want to hear everything they got. I don't have anything that funny.
That's great.
But that was great. I mean, those are the kind of things that are fun. But that's what you get in this game, man. When I had my speech and I talked about, Moses Alou is the godfather of two of my kids. I mean, where am I going to get that from in Killingworth, Connecticut, where I can meet a Dominican that's going to be the godfather of my kids? I mean, really, come on.
That's awesome.
I love him to death, him and Austria. I mean, it's a special game, and I'm very happy for that kid, man. That makes me happy to see kids that get that opportunity.
Well, I also believe you attract some of those people too. I mean, if you weren't who you were, you probably wouldn't have those guys around you or gravitate towards you. So you got to give I know you hate doing it, but you got to give yourself a little bit of credit. You were a great ball player, but at the same time, when I got traded over, it was one of those things. Oh my gosh, Jeff Bagwell is at first base kind of thing.
Then I let you down as soon as you get the
Yeah, then I met you, and I'm like, wow, this guy just did not live up to what I anticipated.
That's fair. You're not the first.
That's probably why we're still friends.
Exactly. I make you feel good about you.
I do feel taller.
That's very easy. That's something that I can't do anything about.
Alex Gordon, a 2-out single. Seems like the Royals get some base runners in this game, and when they have, it's been with 2 outs.
Yeah, they can just go get a couple of little singles. We're okay with that. We're about to explode here coming up next inning.
We are, but no, it's a credit to who you are too, because you were not shy about making friends and being approachable in the clubhouse. I think that's a big deal too.
Well, I mean, they talk about the clubhouse and all this, and Blummy, you could tell me how you feel. I mean, the biggest thing for a clubhouse and that is just you hold each other accountable.
Yep.
If you can do that, you got a great clubhouse. That that if you mess up.
That ball's hit well to left, and it's hooking. Fair ball off the scoreboard. Marwin's going to have to hustle to get it back in. And he will hold Alex Gordon at third, and Alex dives back in safely. They almost got Gordon rounding it.
Marwin has one of the sneakiest, great arms in the outfield. Everybody assumes he's an infielder playing the outfield, but he can absolutely unleash some fury out of that right arm.
He does, because he throws half the balls underhand, generally. Like, when he's throwing the ball around.
It, yeah.
And then he throws it overhand, and you go, oh, God.
But I think even that one surprised Alex.
It did.
surprised the heck out of Alex Gordon.
Because
he made the turn. He's
panic.
like, I'll be right there. Then
Yeah.
you're right. The panic on his face just set in.
Yep.
The last 7 base runners for Kansas City have all come with 2 outs. Here's Paolo Orlando in a scoreless game. It's now 6 hits for the Royals. Orlando has one of those 6 with a single his first time up. He's also flied to center. Brad Peacock warming up in the Houston bullpen.
Yeah, this would be a big at-bat, obviously.
Single by Alex Gordon with 2 outs, followed by a double by Escobar off the wall. Hit the base of the scoreboard, and Marwin got it back in quickly and almost picked up an out.
Yeah.
Dallas wants Stassi to come out there and talk about the signs.
Yeah, this is a big at bat right here. This is, the biggest part of the game. You can't worry about how many visits you have going out there. This is an important part of the game right here.
Dallas does have a base open, and
Yeah.
he has struck out the on-deck hitter both times tonight.
He knows that. I'm sure he does. I'm sure that's what he just told Stassi too. But I'm sure Stassi knows too. He does a lot. They do a lot of homework together. There's no need to do anything crazy because you do have a base open.
Dallas gets it in on him, and it's caught by Alex Bregman. At his knees, a line drive, and a quick start by Bregman off third to get that line drive for the final out.
Sunday, bring the whole family out to the ballpark with a family 4-pack that includes 4 tickets, 4 dogs, and 4 sodas, starting at only $70. Visit Astros.com/Sundays for tickets and info.
George Springer leads things off. This will be the 3rd time around in the order to face Danny Duffy. So far, he's limited the Astros to just 1 hit. Walked a couple and hit a batter. Getting the bottom half of the 6th inning. Glad he could join us on this Friday night. Todd Callis, Jeff Blum, Jeff Bagwell in the broadcast booth tonight. Bart Ennis with us as well. Springer takes a called strike. It's 1-1.
This is what great offenses do right here. I'm hoping. You might be able to get us 1-2 time around the lineup, but see if you can get us the 3rd time. That's what great offenses do. They find a way that 3rd time to get to the starter.
Last start, Duffy was throwing a lot more changeups than he is tonight. Tonight we've seen more curveballs than changeups. He's kind of mixed things up on the Astros.
Yeah, well, I mean, that goes with what we talked about early. That's his feel. That's what he feels the best with. So he's obviously going to go to that more. And being in the dugout as a player, you got to see that and notice that that's what he's doing. When a 2-1 count, he's going to throw a breaking ball. Does he do it to 2-3 guys in a row? That's what you have to do on the bench is watch what guys are doing. It's not always exactly what you see on the scouting report. It's got to be also what's going on during the game.
2-2 pitch is sent down the line and right towards the crowd and popped up in the air and a foul ball.
It's a foul ball.
Nice play by the home fans.
Rosell Herrera with a smile on his face as he comes back after not being able to make that play.
Yeah, he got played a little bit right here by the fans.
Oh, by that guy Bear. Nice job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, he's mad at that guy. He said, I had that. Altuve. Come on, George.
See if George can make the Royals pay for that.
Yeah, gets him an extra pitch right here.
Now the count's full.
And to Baggy's point, the average against Duffy jumps a little bit. It goes from 258 to 286 the third time around. And the last time we were in this building, third time through the lineup, went home run, home run, home run.
How about the third time around with that guy that pitched the other Wednesday?
Like 27. Yeah.
7 pitches, 3 home runs.
We've got power rankings, and they're brought to you by Steel. Offense in June, they are heating up. The average at 301, which is first. Runs per game. On base percentage, we know the Astros hit their way on and also can walk their way on, but the home runs have jumped up a little bit too, and these guys are having a great couple of weeks in June. Baggy talked about them getting hot.
We start putting up almost 6 runs a game with our pitching staff. Pretty much like our chances.
Here's Alex Bregman. He has struck out and flied out to deep left his last time up. Starts him with a changeup for a strike.
Nothing Alex can do with that pitch at all. It's a good take there.
Alex has reached in 31 straight games. 0 for 2 tonight. Leadoff walk to Springer. See if the Astros can get on the board for the first time. 0-2.
Going with the off speed early.
Change up hook.
Man. It's a great look at the outfield setup. That right center field gap is wide open. Got a mistake.
That was exactly, we hit that exactly where you were just talking about.
Yeah, he was trying to.
If it were only that easy.
They've been making it look easy here of late.
They have.
Were there any keys? You stole a lot of bases. Were there any keys on left-handed pitchers that you looked for that would maybe tip off if he was going home or picking off?
No, for a guy like me on left-handed, I had to go first move.
Yeah.
And I can't
Just
wait
sell
to
out.
see. I can't do that on lefty. Now, second base is totally different.
Yep.
You know, they always say stealing third base is easier than any other base to steal, which I agree with. You get a little bit longer lead and you can be moving a little bit as you before you go. And you also get to see what pitch is coming.
Yeah, that's a big bonus too, and it's a lot tougher to pick off at second base. You get a little more time to get back.
Royals second baseman Whit Merrifield would agree with you. He has 9 of his 16 steals this year, stealing third. He's 9 for 9.
Wow. I'm sure our guys know that too.
They know a lot.
I know that too.
In on the hands, and this one catches Salvador Perez on the foul ball. And he is in a little bit of pain behind home plate.
Salvador Perez is a big boy too.
Oh, he looks humongous.
Just off the handle, right off the kneecap. Ooh.
I almost hit Alex in the hand too.
Perez has started every game since coming back from the disabled list, 55 in a row. Mostly behind the plate, 10 games at first and 1 as the DH.
Man, I think while we watch Salvador Perez try and walk this thing off, I just showed Jeff Bagwell a picture. Somebody went deep into the basement to find this thing. There is a picture of Jeff Bagwell for the Chatham Athletics. And you're immediately laughing at that stance.
Oh, my God.
You were straight
I wish
up.
I could hold my computer up, but
I was taking a picture. It doesn't mean I was a real stance.
that's how you hit.
That's not how I hit.
Yeah, it is.
That was just for the photo.
That was my right-handed Ted Williams look.
It's pretty impressive, actually.
Number 9. So I can get that.
There it is.
Ah, there we go. Thanks, David Summers. That is great.
That's not your stance.
Way.
Back then.
That's his baseball card stance.
My baseball card. And my first one.
That's awesome.
It is, I think.
That's a good find right there. 1-2 the count on Bregman. And Alex strikes out. Second time he has gone down. That's now 8 strikeouts for Danny Duffy.
We talked about the velocity that Duffy was pitching with coming into this game, averaging 93 miles an hour on the season. In today's game, he's averaging 95 miles an hour on that fastball. He's touched 97. That's tough to deal with when you're trying to dial up your swing to adjust to 95 plus miles an hour. It makes those off-speed pitches that much better.
You don't know either, too, because his 93 played 95, and his 95 might be playing 97.
Yeah, it could be tough to pick up.
This guy can hit this.
I was just thinking the same thing. This might be the spot where Altuve picks the boys up.
Jose is flied to right, also grounded to short. Coming into the game with more hits than anybody else in baseball, 105. Astros will reach the midway point of the season on Tuesday, so he is well on his way to his 5th consecutive 200-hit season.
That's a lot of hits.
Not even close for the last 5 years. Nobody else in baseball within 100 of this guy over that span. Fouled back to the screen. It's 1-2. Chris Davinsky warming up. Up the middle, base hit, Jose Altuve. Just the 2nd hit of the night for the Astros, and now runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 away.
That's hard to do right there. You look at that, miss the pitcher, miss the second baseman.
Sneak that one through there and thread the needle.
Altuve can do that.
Yeah, you or I do that. So ricochet off somebody for a double play.
Look at, well.
Hit number 1356 for Jose Altuve. He's now 1 away from moving up on that list. Terry Poole, 7th all time in Astros history with 1357. Here's Carlos Correa. Correa double in 2 at-bats.
What is it like to be in a lineup knowing that you are the guy that is being relied on, and then you're in a game where you're 5.5, 6 innings into it, there's no score, and you got a couple of runners on?
That's where I'm supposed to be. This is my time. This is what I'm supposed to do right here. Might not always happen, but I got to be the one that wants to be up right now. So we talked about before, we talked about feeling like you're the best player on the field every time. This is when you feel that. This is when you say, this is why I'm the best. Man, it doesn't happen every time. I mean, you know, it's baseball, but that's the feeling.
A majority of it's having that mentality when you get in the box and expect good things to happen.
I mean, even little things, you know, like the guy doesn't get a runner home from 3rd with like 0 outs, and now it's 1 out. Like, okay, I'll take the RBI. You know what I mean? You can be selfish a little bit and still be a team guy, if that makes any sense.
Well, I think baseball is one of those sports where that is very true, because when you're in that box, it's just you out there fighting.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
And if you can be greedy and selfish in the box and get your numbers. If you put your numbers up, you're going to help the team.
Right, and I don't even know if it's selfish, but just like, hey man, I got it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you didn't do it, it's okay, man. I got this.
Yep.
I'll take it. That's all right.
Change up and a couple of curveballs has Correa down to the count 1-2.
I don't. It's so funny to watch baseball on TV, man. It is so easy to sit up here and watch this thing like, oh, this is what we should do. This is my mentality. But when you get up there and you see there's 8 guys in front of you and the guy's throwing 95, 97, it is a tough game, man. But it looks easy on TV. We get no aspirations when we watch basketball like, oh, I could do that.
No.
I don't ever go, oh, I could do that.
No. Football, no.
No. This?
Nope.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Should have hit that pitch out.
There's numbers to prove you didn't do it. A whole bunch of those numbers.
First fastball Correa seen at this at bat. 96 up and away. He fouls it off. Kevin McCarthy warming up in the Royals bullpen. Danny Duffy sitting at 100 pitches. Springer walked. He's on second. Altuve a base hit. He's on first. Correa has the only other hit tonight for the Astros, a double in the second inning. Oh, up and in. It gets away from Perez. Each runner will advance a base. That one nearly hit Carlos Correa. Instead, it's a wild pitch, putting runners on second and third.
That is not a good feeling.
It is now. There's man on second and third in less than 2 hours.
After you get your breath back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right about right there.
Yeah, that's right by your nose. You can actually feel that.
Really?
Yeah, you can. It feels like you can feel it. It's like.
No, I can. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. And like you said, you're going. That didn't hit me. Cool. Now what?
Regroup.
Now the infield comes in.
All right.
Infield comes in with a 2-2 count. 2 runners in scoring position in a scoreless game. Three and 2.
Should be an interesting pitch right here.
I agree 100% with you.
Man,
he's still got to hit off a fastball. If he's throwing 97, he's still got to.
But you've got to expect something in the zone because Yuli's on deck, right?
I agree with you.
Fans have been great this whole homestand so far.
Ball 4, Correa down to the count 0-2, draws a walk. And that'll load the bases up for a guy who has the highest batting average in baseball with runners in scoring position. Yuli batting .463 on the year. With runners in scoring position, Ned Yost coming out. Danny Duffy wants to face Yuli.
I don't think they would.
We'll see if a signal is made. Duffy is trying to get the attention of his manager. And he's saying, I don't want to come out. This could be just a little breather for the starter.
Yeah, because if he doesn't get Yuli out, he's coming out no matter what.
Well, and you got to imagine this is his game, too. Yeah, there's no score in this ball game, yeah.
You got to let him pitch.
And he walked him on a bad breaking ball, too. That one got away from him. Yeah, so.
So Ned came out, had a little say, and kept his starter in there with 103 pitches. Good to see.
Well, yeah, and then, I mean.
He created his own damage.
Yeah, and I think that he deserves to, do this. I mean, every other pitcher's watching right now going, man, I want him to lead me in.
Yeah.
And that's leadership by Ned right there. Hey, boys, I got your back.
Ground ball towards third. They're going to step on the bag at third. Moustakas throw in time for the double play, and that will do it. Duffy gets out of a bases-loaded one-out situation with a double play to end the 6th. Still scoreless.
Keuchel did a great job facing the Kansas City Royals the second time basically in this week, but went 6 strong. We saw a good mix of sliders. We saw some very good sinkers off the outside corner, backed up by some changeups, got some swings and misses. 6 strikeouts on the game. No earned runs in 98 pitches. A.J. Hinch getting him out of there after 6 beautiful innings. That'll bring on Chris Davinsky.
Devo taking over, appearing in his 31st game of the year. He has been outstanding, especially in the month of June. Has that ERA down to 1.57. They will have Alberto Mondesi, a left-hand hitter, due up. And a right-hand hitter in Merrifield, switch hitter in Herrera, and a lefty in Mustaka's first pitch swinging is Mondesi, and he fouls one out of play. Back-to-back really good outings for Dallas Keuchel against these Royals. That's now 12 straight innings without allowing an earned run.
Trending in the right direction for Dallas Keuchel.
Unfortunately, the Astros couldn't score any runs for him tonight, and he will leave with a no decision. To Hopper, gloved by Yuli. You talk about other players defensively. Yuli stepped up his game defensively this year.
He has. He's done a good job. He was, last year when he first started out over there, he obviously was uncomfortable. It's a different deal, man, because you come over and you got to find the baseball. See, the good thing right there, if he bobbles that ball right there, that ball falls towards first. So what you do, you can just shovel it to the pitcher. So you take it on a little bit of an angle. But Yuri's learning things every day. I still think it's hysterical when he caught the last ball of the World Series with 2 hands. It was at his knee. But it's beautiful. That's Yuli, See, I got that right that time. I said Yuli.
Yuri grounded out the end.
Yuri grounded out at the end, but Yuli just caught that one. 2 different dudes.
Here's Whit Merrifield. Taking a called strike. It's 1-1.
Yeah, but he's made a lot of strides. He can do some good things over there.
Saw him play some third base earlier this week.
Yep.
Tyler White played over at first.
AJ's got a lot of luxuries over there with what he can do with guys. He can move Yuli over there. Didn't Alex play second the other day?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you got Marwin who can play anywhere. That's great stuff. We got something special here, man. This really is a pleasure to watch.
50 wins through the first 76 games. Second best record through 76 games of any Astros team other than last year's team.
Not bad.
Last year's team hit that little bit of a skid in August. This is a team that's on pace for the most wins in franchise history right now.
They just showed a picture of AJ. And I have to talk about this real quick. Have either one of you guys, we've all been in the game for a long time. You guys ever seen an actual manager get a call called that wasn't called on the field?
The balk.
The balk. It was not called.
No.
And he got it called.
I'd never seen that before.
The history of the game,
Seriously.
I'd be pretty confident to say there has never been a balk call overturned until that one.
That's why he's the best manager ever. Nobody can do that. I mean, no one.
The fact that he reacted right away, I think, helped.
It doesn't matter. Most of those older umpires would be like, man, we can't look bad on this deal, man. There's no way we can do this. No. He got it changed, and it won the game for us.
Part of a 10-0 road trip.
Unbelievable.
Didn't get the RBI.
He should have talked the umpire and then give it to one of our guys.
Came up to the
scorekeeper. Give it to Correa. Yeah, there.
That was a big run, too.
Gaddis was hitting. He should have gotten it. Yeah.
The bullpen was taxed at that point. A little tap out.
I've never seen that. He knows it, too.
No, AJ is a very candid guy.
Yeah.
And that was one of the questions we asked him after the game. And I said, were you shocked? And he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, I didn't expect it. He goes, yeah, you got to go out there and plead your case, and sometimes you get the call.
No, never happens. Hey, I'm sorry, Joe. Joe West, that was not a strike. That was at least 5 inches off. Oh, you're right, Jeff. I'm going to get you back in the box. No, that doesn't happen.
Let's do this over.
That doesn't happen. Only AJ. Wasn't a big play either, was it? Yeah.
A little bit of an impact.
Here it is, Baggy. Last road trip.
Quick
Go. Keona Kile.
No call.
And then AJ comes right out of the dugout right away.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Hey, you're right. That's a buck. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Called third strike. Good battling at bat back and forth, and Davinsky wins that battle on a 3-2 strike call for out number 2.
He gets it with a pitch he doesn't usually throw.
Yeah.
That slider, usually his fastball changeup on everybody, but he has a little bit of a wrinkle when he needs it.
That's an important pitch because, like you said, Blummy, I mean, everybody knows it's fastball changeup, and when push comes to shove, you're probably going to get a changeup. If you can do something else to kind of put something in the back of somebody's mind, I mean, I love Devo.
There's that changeup.
He ain't scared of nobody.
Oh, he brings a little attitude
He
to the
does.
mound.
I love it. First time I ever saw him, AJ goes, watch this guy's act out here. That was in spring training a couple years ago.
Blummer likes calling it when he leaves the mound.
He's carrying his luggage off the mound.
Yeah.
He's all bowed up.
I know what that means.
It's even got its own name now. It's just called the Devo Strut.
Yeah. I like to carry the luggage. I've heard that before.
2 outs, nobody on base. Rosell Herrera with a 2-1 count.
His velocity's been up this year too, hasn't it?
Yep.
And he's thrown that slider a couple more times in some big
You
spots.
just have to throw it every once in a while just to put it in somebody's mind that it could happen. But if I'm facing him, I'm thinking there's got to be somebody that pitch is coming.
So there's a changeup up, but it just.
Well, you see up, and then your mind goes, oh, yeah. And then it doesn't get there.
Devo's arm action is really good on that pitch, too.
If you're thinking about it, you go, if I'm going to get a changeup, I want to change up. But you don't realize how it's not getting there. See?
Well, watch him take the luggage off the field.
I got this.
Scoreless 7th inning stretch.
I don't need your help. I got this.
Astros are represented on this year's squad by voting at astros.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th on Fox. For the All-Stros game in that one, as the right-hander Kevin McCarthy takes over for the Kansas City Royals. Both pitchers go 6 innings of shutout baseball tonight.
28 games so far for McCarthy out of that Royals bullpen. 31 1/3 innings pitched. 19 strikeouts, 9 walks, so he's pitching to a little bit of contact. Decent ERA at 3.73. But McCarthy has a fastball averaging around 92, 93 miles an hour. Changeup, curveball. Those are pretty hard slider around 88 miles an hour.
New bullpen now for the Royals, and that bullpen has struggled this year. We saw Keller now move into the rotation for Kansas City. And Kelvin Herrera, their closer, has been traded to the Washington Nationals. McCarthy had a 1-2-3 inning in his last appearance against the Astros. Now will face Evan Gattis, Marwin Gonzalez, and Max Stassi. Danny Duffy very good tonight, bouncing back after a rough start last time against these Astros. Only allowed 2 hits over 6 innings. Did walk 4 and hit a batter, but he was able to work around that with a couple double play ground balls. Gaddis hitting into one of those double plays, also has grounded out to third. He's 0 for 2. Tries to hold up and he goes around. It's 1 and 2. Did that All-Star promo coming out of break, Bag. Any favorite All-Star memories for you over the years?
I think maybe that one where we had like 3 or 4 of us in the game at one time. I think it was in Pittsburgh with Cammy and Liz, myself, and Drebeck or Hudek or something like that was on the mound. That was kind of cool. I mean, they're all pretty cool. I mean, Fenway obviously was huge for me, going back there and to see Ted Williams and all the guys. I mean, that was a special moment. I mean, I'll never forget that deal. You know, and at the time, McGuire had like 13 homers, which was a big deal in the home run hitting contest. Guys are hitting like 40 now, so it's not a big deal, but it was a big deal at the time. That was really cool. You know, just being with those guys, it's fun. Your teammates, you know, just driving to the airport, getting the plane together and stuff like that. It's a neat deal. I get a little irritated when some people say, oh, you know, I'd rather have the days off and all that. I'm like, come on, man. We're just privileged to play, and then to get an opportunity to be in that game. I don't want to hear that you're tired. I mean, come on.
And the year in '94, you mentioned it, you, Bish, Cam Nitty, and then both Drebeck and Hudek pitched in that game.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They're all cool. I mean, it's just nice to go to see the cities, and you know, the fans enjoy it. That's the most important thing. And, you know, to be honest with you, there's not tons of pressure on you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. But, you know, people always talk about all-star games and, you know, doesn't mean anything. And, you know, people like in basketball, they don't try. And in football, you don't tackle anybody. There is no not trying when you're up there facing a dude throwing 100 miles an hour. I mean, there's no not trying.
We got some league leaders. They're presented to you by Houston Methodist. Baggy hinted at it earlier in the game about the depth of this lineup. The 7-8-9 hitters since June 6th. 340, 19 extra base hits, and scoring 25 runs. All those numbers are leading Major League Baseball.
Coincidence why we're playing so well?
Right. What I think is great, and the reason those run numbers are so high is because those guys get on base at the bottom, flip that order over, and then great things happen.
We're nonstop. Here we come. There's no break.
Marr went 0 for 2 tonight, but coming into this game batting .429 this month.
Well, I love how sometimes you'll see pitchers go, oh, finally got to the 7-8-9 guys. I'm going to relax a little bit. And then they make a mistake and it gets crushed.
Not to our dudes, man.
You can't.
No. Every single one of them can jump ship. You know, they put together good at bats generally too. You know, they're not quick at bats and all that. Because Marwin, you know, as I said, is the rain delay. It takes a few minutes in between pitches. I love you to death on what I do, but I can't help it. I always have to make fun of him.
Can't wait till he replays this at bat.
That's fine. I'll tell him tomorrow. I told him in spring training. I like that pitch right there.
On the edge, it's 2-1.
Yeah, there's not one.
Wow. Count should be a little bit different.
I mean, that's not even close. And see, he sets up, the umpire sets up in too. So I'm shocked actually.
Do you think the umpiring's better now or when you played?
No, it's different. And let me say it this way.
There's more scrutiny now.
Well, there is, because there's a box in front of home plate that everybody in the world can see on TV. The players can go downstairs and see the same box. And the umpires know that. So they're going to be a little tighter. They're going to be more on the tight side than the wide side. It used to be, no matter, every umpire was different. You knew certain guys give certain amount in, out, and all that. Pitchers would have reputations. They would get more. I mean, that's just the way it was. You know, first time that we ever had interleague play, I went over to the American League, and if you had a name in the American League, Man, they didn't call. I mean, Wade Bogg, he basically, if he didn't swing, it was a ball. You know, and I had a strike zone. I went, oh my God, this is great.
Well, that's what people don't remember. If we're going to get a pinch hitter here for Max Stassi, looks like Tony Kemp's going to get an AP. There were different umpires for different leagues.
Yeah, no, people don't understand that.
And for a while, the American League umpires kept that out of the chest protector that was outside. Yeah.
But it was tight.
The big pillow.
The big pillow. Yeah. And sometimes they had a higher strike zone.
Exactly. But it was tighter. But you know, it was okay. We dealt with it.
You knew the reputations of the guys before you stepped in the box.
And it's just now. I mean, I personally, I mean, I know guys are throwing harder, but the strike zone's smaller.
AJ going with a 7-man bullpen the last few series, and that gives him one extra man on the bench. And in this case, he's able to go to a pinch hitter, Tony Kemp, and then we'll see Brian McCann come in defensively as Max Stassi leaves the game.
Well, you would think he's going to bunt here, right? He's been doing that.
Yep.
And he can beat it out.
Yeah.
No, he does. Yeah, his speed will put pressure on the defense.
Yeah.
Took a great play by Jake Bowers when he did that last time against Tampa Bay.
That was a great play.
Corner's coming in.
Of course, he's not bunting.
Kemp takes a strike.
Told you.
That's it. Told me. Heard that before. Told you.
Could be back on here.
Yeah, but that 0-1 count puts a little pressure on him if he doesn't get it down. Ends up being an 0-2 count.
Well,
then the pitcher's in command.
And you're guessing that he's not going to hit into a double play, although actually I just said that.
Towards second. The throw to third, and they are going to get Evan Gaddis at third.
No way.
Heads up play by Whit Merrifield, getting Evan Gaddis the lead runner. You don't see that very often.
I'm going to sit here politely and listen to Jeff Bagwell explain.
Oh, thank you. There is no way I've seen this ever. That ball's in the hole.
Gaddis broke back to second.
Well, he really froze on that soft liner.
I can't defend that. I mean, that ball was in the hole. Oh, I guess he thought it was he thought that
the first baseman might catch it in the air.
But did the route tell you that he might have been thinking about rounding third base too?
I don't think he had time to. I think if I looked at it right there, he froze exactly when the ball was hit. And I think
the first baseman making a dive.
I've never seen a second baseman do that.
I don't think I've seen a
I've seen a first baseman do it. I mean,
that's a heck of a fielder's choice, yeah.
Another pinch hitter here. Jake Marisnick will be lifted. Tyler White comes off the bench to hit. So Kemp grounds into a fielder's choice. White will bat with one out. Tyler 2 for 7 this year since being called up from AAA Fresno. White had a big pinch double in that series against the Royals in Kansas City. Takes one down and away for ball 1.
I'll tell you what, if we're going to, I don't know. And we can look at that a whole bunch of different ways, but for Merrifield to actually think about doing that, something had to be off. That ball's up to his left.
Somehow he caught Gaddis out of the corner of his eye.
That's my point. I don't see how he can see that.
And to still have enough time.
Yeah, well, he's got to square up to throw that ball.
That's what's crazy. Yeah, all the way across.
So you watch Gaddis, he just stops.
He went back to second.
And then he actually took a step back. Look at Merrifield. That is unbelievable.
Actually, I think Merrifield was set up to throw to second and recognized he had a chance to go to third and threw it.
He threw that like he was turning a double play.
Yep.
Wow. What's Marvin doing right there?
He got up like, how dare you try and pick me up.
That was fun. I think I'm just confused right now. I don't know what's going on.
What a game.
I gotta tell him down strike.
2-1 off the outside corner.
I'd like to see Great White shoot a gap right here and get the boys off and running.
This guy's all over. There's no constant where he's throwing the ball.
His command, we saw it last in Kansas City. It was good in Kansas City, but today he's been all over.
That's good pitching. He can't zone in.
Keep you off balance.
Yeah.
We was lucky to get the first strike on White. It was up and in, and Tyler tried to check his swing.
It almost hit him like
right.
The ball to Altuve. No, break.
Slowly hit towards third. Moustakas is going to make no play.
What is going on?
He saw Marwin Gonzalez heading towards third, thought he had a play, and everybody's safe.
I'm not talking anymore. This is.
Well, I was just saying, isn't that the beauty of baseball? Is that you can have, how many years did you play? 15, 16?
Too many.
Yeah.
Yes.
So between close to 30 years of playing baseball, and yet we've seen two plays in one inning where there shouldn't have been an out and where there should have been an out.
What's the thought process right there? I don't know.
Well, you got to hold your ground in the baseline. What I think he did wrong, this would be a great angle, is he comes in early. And Marwin just did a good job of getting past him. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, as an infielder, aren't you taught at least you got to get at least one out?
Get one out. If you have a baseball and base runners, you should be able to get at least one out.
Yeah. We'll take it.
Springer bats with the bases loaded and one out. Infield bat.
There's a pitch right there that George is like, please don't call that a strike.
Yeah, because that could change the start of the AB.
Yeah.
Your Hall of Fame career, you probably got a lot of hits like that. Those infield hits, the indecision.
Times it was unbelievable how I did it all the time. My speed was just so baffling for everybody that they couldn't make the play.
Tonight's fan cam presented by GulloAuto.com. 39,357 tonight. There have been huge crowds for this homestand so far, the first 4 of this 9-game homestand, and this has been fun to watch. H-Town loves them some Astros.
Yes, they do.
They're looking for George Springer to deliver here with a 1-1 count. The bases loaded. 2-1.
Our StatCast give you a little bit of an idea of the sac fly depths. And that'll take into the account Marwin Gonzalez's speed, the arm strength of some of those outfielders. That red zone is the no-go. But you know the Astros are incredibly aggressive. They'll probably be even more aggressive with this 0 score.
Could be 2 for the 3rd time tonight. The Astros hit into a double play twice with the bases loaded and 1 out. This time George Springer. And we're still scoreless headed to the 8th.
results of our Chevy Stroh poll. We asked you, where did you see your first Astros game in person? And 69% of the over 2,000 votes cast said the Astrodome. Thank you to all of you who took part in our poll. That was my first Major League experience, guys, at the Astrodome. In fact, I didn't see a Major League game outdoors until I was in my 30s.
Wow. That's impressive. Start calling you Climate Control Bart.
That's right.
New pitcher on the mound for the Astros, Hector Rondon, takes over in the 8th inning.
Hector's been good out of that bullpen for A.J. Hinch. He has a lot of confidence in this guy. We've seen very good fastball velocity, slider, and a couple of changeups mixed in there, too.
Dallas Keuchel for 6 shutout innings tonight. Perfect 7th for Chris Davinsky, including a couple of strikeouts, and now Rondon on in the 8th. Astros and Royals coming into tonight, both tied for the Major League lead, hitting into 74 double plays apiece. The Astros have taken over that lead with 3 tonight, including 2 with the bases loaded and 1 out. Tony Kemp stays in the game after pinch hitting. He will bat in the number 8 spot, occupied by Max Stassi, and Brian McCann takes over. He'll bat 9th.
I think what makes those double plays feel like they've been hitting into them at an unbelievable rate is that they do it not with just one guy on first base. I feel like, well, there's 2 already in this game with the bases loaded. Those are the ones that are bone crushers.
Yeah, 2 for the price of 1. It's well, that's why they called it for a million years, rally killers.
I mean, completely.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, it's not like something you're trying to do. It just happens.
Popped up on the infield. Alex Bregman, the only one on that side of the infield, waits for it, puts it away for out number 1.
Fans with tickets to this Tuesday's game have a unique chance to upgrade their ticket and get their favorite Stroh Zone shirts presented by Texas Mahindra dealers from this year and last year for only $10. To upgrade your tickets, visit astros.com/t-shirt. That guy's excited.
Yeah.
Here's Salvador Perez. Perez had ground out a couple flyouts.
Catches a lot of games too, doesn't he? Didn't he have the record at some point? Most in a row? Salvador?
He plays every day.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Didn't he have like a 2-year span where he like something crazy? Of course, Pudge used to too. Pudge used to catch 150 games playing in Texas.
That ball's ripped into left field, and that's down for a hit against the wall. Marwin tries to play it back in quickly. Perez to second, and he slides in just ahead of the tag by Altuve. 1 out double for Salvador Perez. Ball didn't really bounce off the wall like he was hoping.
Not only good arm, but an accurate arm.
It's a pretty good slider down and away that Salvador got to. But you know what's great about Marwin is he put himself in position. He was anticipating a harder hit off that wall, and if it did, he definitely would have gotten Salvador Perez.
Hyperextended his knee right there.
Here's Hunter Dozier. 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a called strike. Dozier flying to right twice, also striking out. 1 of 6 strikeouts for Dallas Keuchel. All Dallas's base runners, with the exception of the leadoff hitter Whit Merrifield, who lined a pitch off his left knee. All the other runners came with 2 outs tonight.
All of them?
Yeah, the last 7.
It was like the other night Charlie Morton pitched. All of his walks came with 2 outs.
Yep.
I guess if you're going to have a good time to have one, it would be that. I guess.
I'd just like to extend those innings.
It's interesting organization. When was the last time? When was Kansas City win the World Series?
15. They won the World Series in 15.
Right.
They were in there in 14.
And then they've kind of lost everybody since then.
It's amazing how quickly that happened.
And wasn't Tampa Bay a little bit like that too, right? They played well for a while. Texas was the same way.
Rays went to the playoffs 4 of the last 6 years and haven't really come close lately.
Yeah.
4 out of 6 years, ending in 13, beginning in 08. Hey, going back to your question about Salvi Perez, since 2013, the last 5 years, he has started 647 games behind the plate, most in baseball.
Wow.
So, yeah, he grinds back there.
Yeah, he does. He's a big human, too.
And he plays in some warm conditions.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Pudge, too, when he caught in Texas.
Yeah, I could never understand that, catching outdoors up in Arlington that many games.
And he was on base a lot, too, because he could hit.
Dude could hit.
Pudge's son's now a major leaguer.
He is.
Tried to hold up his swing, and he goes around. Dozier called for a swing by the crew chief, Bill Welke. That's a strikeout for Rondon and 2 away.
You know, that's the reality, though. I mean, you know, Kansas City, you know, they've been great. You know, they've had a great organization and a great city for a long time as far as baseball-wise. Football, too. But, you know, you get these teams that do real well, and then you kind of almost have to rebuild again. So I would imagine it's hard to keep a fan base occupied.
A.J. Hinch will give Alex Gordon the intentional walk and let Rondon face Alcides Escobar.
It's a new rule. Just put him on first.
Yeah.
Don't throw the 4 pitches.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Did you ever swing at a pitch that was an intentional walk?
I told you that was part of my game.
Just take the
Did
walk.
the walk
Take the walk.
and the
You were
intentional walk.
whenever you saw the catcher
Well, I
reach
got
the
it.
hand out,
Yeah.
you were excited.
Yeah.
2 on, 2 outs.
Not as much as I was.
I'm not going to take it back. Salvage. Nice pitch.
There's a strike on the edge.
Who started that? You or Osmus? The salvage. Because I can't remember. It was 0203.
Yeah.
I got a base. There was a point where Brad was hitting 8th. I was hitting 7th, and I got a base hit. And he grounded into one of his 35 double plays that day.
Bunch, yeah.
And we're coming off the field, and he goes, "Man, you salvaged that
That's
first
true.
AB." And I got to hit my first at bat, and he said, "Salvage."
Exactly. You knew you're not going to get anything else. That was it. That's all you're getting today. So, way to salvage the day.
And there'd be so much jealousy in his voice when he said
no,
it,
there's
too.
no doubt about it.
He was just like, "Oh,
It's like
salvage."
the 0-2 bases loaded. You get hit in the neck. And you go, salvage. You still find a way to get down to first base. Thank you for hitting me in my neck.
Never felt so good.
Oh, it felt great. Padilla hit me once in the neck with the bases loaded. I loved it.
Oh, he could bring it too, man.
Literally hit you in the neck.
No, I don't know. It's close enough. It felt like the neck. His ball sunk so much it was like a bowling ball hitting me. I laughed. I said, "That's awesome."
One pitch is a little low. It's 2 and 1.
I mean, we're not that good, man. We got to take what we can get.
Royals 7 hits, Astros 2 hits. Scoreless game in the 8th. Escobar had his streak of consecutive starts at shortstop end tonight, playing center field. He had made 407 consecutive starts at short, dating back to 2015 before tonight. Don't see guys playing 162 a year anymore.
I do not. Nope.
Now Escobar, after a close pitch was called a strike, is ahead of the count 3 and 1.
You know, I've changed my opinion on that too. I think a little bit. I mean, I played 162. I don't know, 4 or 5 times. You know, you want to be out there and all that, but I'm not so sure all the time it's the best thing. I mean, there's probably days that you should have off.
All 4 of the bases are loaded.
But as a player, you always think like, oh, this is the day I'm going to break out or I'm going to do something good. I mean, that's why, I mean, Cal Ripken's thing, that's never going to be broken.
No.
I mean, I remember getting sick one time. I mean, I couldn't even get off the training table for 3 days.
That's not good.
No, they left, and they went to St. Louis without me. That's how sick I was.
2,216 straight starts at shortstop.
I mean, really?
That's it?
I mean, think about that. They talk about football, you know, and Brett Favre played in all those games in a row. I mean, I get it. You get hit by people that are massive humans, got high rate of speed, but That's a lot of games to play in a row with not having anything wrong that you play.
I've got a Name That Astro coming up. I'm going to test you right here, Baggy. We're going to play Name That Astros, brought to you by Nissan. Oh, Canada. Finished career with the Royals and Jaguars.
I heard you're the best at this.
Every time.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blummer's great.
He is, isn't he?
75% of the time, I get it right. Every time.
So after an intentional walk, a regular walk, and now Rondon faces Paulo Orlando with the bases loaded. Orlando 1 for 3, lined out to third his last time up and fouls one away.
Okay. No. The Canadian guys.
Rondon ahead 0-2. Now this crowd, which hasn't had a lot of offense to cheer about, we'll get into it here with the bases loaded and 2 outs and an 0-2 count.
Yeah.
You're going to go back upstairs right here, or are you going to throw that slider?
I like upstairs then a slider.
Yep.
We'll get to that.
I'm going to say with that 0-2 count, chase up there, see if you can get him to go one more time.
Slider smothered by McCann.
I like the idea of the fastball up a little bit better because it is something a little more enticing than a power slider well out of the zone.
Yeah, well, see, the problem with that one is, yeah, it's never a strike at any point. I mean, obviously he's not trying to do that, but
yeah,
you don't say swing at any point in that pitch. See, that's the one we were looking to pitch beforehand. Now that he threw that up in there, then you would think that he's looking for somewhat, but he's still, I mean, he's going to cover 98 with him.
Big time.
Yeah. I mean,
so as a hitter, you get stood up on that fastball in. Now you're thinking he's
everybody in the
away.
world's thinking slider away, so actually a fastball in would be a great pitch. But you never know. I mean, you can't make a mistake in this situation.
Even a fastball in that outside corner might be able to lock him up.
Yeah, because you're thinking slider. Most dudes are thinking slider. Said dude a lot on the show today.
It's all right. I appreciate it. You know, my West Coast upbringing totally understands what you're saying.
Catering to your audience.
911. Emergency hack.
Yep. Foul it off.
Now what? That's the issue.
If you could blow him up inside, you'd have no chance to get him.
If you can spot that fastball,
you got no chance. But I'm pretty sure he's going to get a slider. The people at home, if you guys don't understand what pitch is coming, if you know it's fastball or slider, watch McCann or the catcher's knees when they go. They bend in with their feet out, it's a breaking ball. They do that for the blocking the ball.
Get in a better position to knock that thing down.
The 0-2 slider, that was he was just smothering that thing. He was.
Oh yeah, no,
you could see him almost trying to go get it. Yeah, dude. Now you got me saying it.
I like it.
Yank the fastball, it's 3-2. You'd be saying dude if we were watching the game sitting at home, so this is what we have you here for.
That's true.
It's a good thing. Just talking a little baseball, just like we're back at home.
Haven't thrown anything yet.
McCann going out, he obviously knows this is the critical this is the critical pitch of the game right here.
Slider gets him out. He's a young kid. I don't know how young he is, but he's not. This is not a situation that he's probably comfortable in.
Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball down and away. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. The Royals strand, the bases loaded.
hashtag UltimateSWFanARK on Twitter to show us, and you could win a VIP experience. So tweet now for a chance to win big. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Bart, we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Still looking for the first run of this game. The Astros will have the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up against a new pitcher for Kansas City, right-hander Justin Grimm.
Only 14 games on this season for Justin Grimm. And he's only thrown 11 2/3 innings in that time. He has walked 11. So finding that strike zone may be a little bit of an issue for Grimm.
Bregman looking to continue that streak of reaching base, 31 straight games, 0 for 3 tonight, a couple of strikeouts. And he does not chase the breaking ball away. It's 1-0.
It's a pretty violent motion from Grimm coming to home plate. Get to 93, 94 on that fastball. Power slider at 88 miles an hour and also a curveball.
29-year-old right-hander. Started his career with the Rangers in 2012 and 13. With the Cubs. A part of the 13 season all the way through last year, and he was a free agent all the way up until March of this season. And in spring training, the Royals picked him up.
Ball driven to right field, pretty well hit. Back goes Herrera at the track, leaps and makes a great catch, possibly robbing Bregman of a home run.
He did.
Great play by the youngster. Not his home ballpark. This wall here at Minute Maid Park can come on here pretty quick. But Alex did a good job of backing that baseball up and shooting it the other way. I thought he had enough to get it out of here, but man, oh man, did Herrera get back there and just sell himself out to make that play for Grimm.
My God.
Got a pretty good.
You got to get that. we need to take Altuve down the right field. I was thinking back there, he would have grabbed that ball.
Herrera,
good play.
A very nice play to start the inning. Here is Altuve.
It seems like Alex hits a bunch of those balls that are just right there.
Altuve coming off a 2-home run game on Wednesday. Also had a double in that game. Interesting game tonight at Fenway Park. Seattle scored 4 times in the top half of the first inning and then gave up 5 in the bottom half. The Mariners would lead 10-5 at one point against Boston, and the Red Sox won 14-10.
Wow, they're up 10-5.
10-5.
That's not good.
Stephen Wright gives up 10 tonight in his start and gets a no decision.
That's aggressive.
You know what I've never asked? I wonder. I don't know why. I mean, I've been around long enough to ask. Like when a pitcher pitches like a good game, pitches 6 innings and 0-0, and he doesn't get a win, nothing like that. I mean, what do you feel like? Honestly, what do you feel like? Like I helped my team win. I mean, is that like a real statement? Or I helped my team cave? I mean, you know what I mean?
I helped inspire.
Because it's nothing. Like if I go 0 for 4, I know I'm 0 for 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just curious what actual, real, honest answer would be.
Did all he could, right? 6 innings of shutout baseball. Both starters have to feel like they did all they could tonight. Just didn't get any offense from either side.
Yeah.
Well, how about, I mean, Justin Verlander? He's had 3 starts where he struck out 10 or more and lost.
I want to know what the real feeling is.
Well, if I'm going to ask anybody, I'm going to ask Justin Verlander because I know he's going to be unbelievably honest. And I'd be thoroughly entertained by the answer.
I bet you would, too. Put it on a tee for him. Here you go, buddy.
There he is, Justin Verlander. He was originally going to start the game Sunday to wrap up this weekend series, but A.J. Hinch on the off day said he thought about it a little more after Justin threw a season-high 122 pitches in his last start. He's going to keep the rotation the way it originally was, so Garrett Cole's going to start Sunday, and Justin will pitch with that extra day of rest with the off day yesterday on Monday.
Actually, Altuve was just talking to himself right there. I don't see that very often.
Checked his swing, and he draws a 1-out walk.
Okay, he's got to run here. I think.
We're going to name that Astro. Brought to you by Nissan. A couple of clues. O Canada finished career with the Royals and Jaguars. Who is it? Terry Poole. Enshrined in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Finished his career in 1991 with the Kansas City Royals. Current head coach of University of Houston, Victoria.
Very nice man.
He could hit.
Yeah.
Good lefty swing. One out walk to Jose Altuve. Here's Carlos Correa. Correa takes a pitch outside for a ball. You're looking for Altuve to run here, back?
I was, but I just watched him his first. He looks like he's halfway decent to home, though. I think it's like 1-3 or something. Pretty quick, so maybe not, because Salvador can throw.
That's why first base coaches have that stopwatch on their hip.
I got to steal from that. See, he knew he was coming over right there.
I was going to say the same exact thing. He somehow, some way, he just changed the sign.
Yeah, well, what happens is the pitcher changes his entire posture. When he gets the sign, he just changes everything that he does, so you know he's coming over. Like right there, that position right there it has to look different. That's why he stood there. Yeah, that wasn't quick.
1-1 the count. Did you, when you were on first base getting your lead, did you internally know pretty much what that stopwatch was saying? Did you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because that has to be a certain number for me to go. You know, it didn't. If it was 138 or 14, I was kind of like, okay, maybe who's catching? And then if it's anything over that, then I can steal off a pitcher. But Altuve, he can steal off 1-3s. See, he's changing how he throws. That the pitch before him was a high leg kick. That was a slide step. So,
in the slide step, you left the pitch up high.
Right. Because he's thinking about Altuve more than he's thinking about anything else right now. That's why he slide step.
And a lot of times when that pitcher slide steps, that arm has a tough time catch up. And that's why that pitch is up in the zone.
So now you think he's got to throw a strike, so it might go a little bit higher with this one.
And a good chance of getting a fastball through the hitter.
Ooh. High in the air to right field. Herrera in front of the track. Has room and makes the play for out number 2.
It was a good pitch to hit. Breaking ball, stayed in the middle part of the zone. Lost the barrel a little bit.
Yeah, just bat drags right here. That wasn't terrible, but right at the end there, just
yeah, the hands got well out front.
I mean, I think if he can get a jump, he's got to try, I think.
Especially with Kile batting.
Yeah.
Pick an off-speed pitch to run on if he can find one.
It's a called strike. Yuli's walked, lined out to second, and hit into one of 3 double plays tonight. The Astros have twice hit in double plays with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Sometimes as a pitcher, as a base runner, you can see whether the guy's wider with his stance or closer together. You can tell the slide step is going high.
Towards the middle. Mondesi makes the play. Backhand flip gets away. Altuve safe at second. Alberto Mondesi starting at shortstop tonight in place of Alcides Escobar, who had made over 400 consecutive starts at short for the Royals. And he flipped this one wide.
Did a good job of getting there. Just that flip, kind of the momentum of his body. He didn't really go try and pitch it back against the momentum of that. Whit Merrifield didn't really pick it up early either.
Going the other way. I mean, he's going to get talked to about that coming in. Unless it's do or die, he's probably going to be able to get Yuli at first, don't you think?
I was say that play is much easier going to first because Altuve can fly too.
Yeah. Because the only way that second baseman's catching that is barehanded.
Yep.
Going to be an error on the Royals shortstop to keep this inning alive. Here's Evan Gattis. Gattis 0 for 2 with a walk. Ken Giles warming up in the Astros bullpen as Gattis pops one high in the air, shallow left field. Alex Gordon coming in. And he puts it away for the final out. Astros strand 2. They've done so the last 3 innings. Net app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit attsportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply. We head to the ninth. All scoreless. Astros going back to the bullpen for a new arm is Ken Giles.
Kenny G pitched in that Tampa Bay series back on the 20th. When it inning, gave up a hit, a walk, struck out one through 18 pitches, but it was a clean inning. No earned runs, 27 games, 25 strikeouts.
He will face the number 9 hitter, Alberto Mondesi, and at the top of the order for the Royals. Mentioned the Royals had struggled with scoring runs lately. They have averaged less than 2 runs per game in their last 14 and have lost 15 out of 16 overall. Ground ball up the middle, though, and Giles on one pitch allows a base hit. Mondesi, a leadoff base runner in the ninth.
Well, you know you're getting old when you look up and it says he was born in L.A. in 1995, so I played against his father, so he must have been born while he was playing with the Dodgers. Wow.
We saw guys in the draft this year that were born in 2000.
Unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
Here's Whit Merrifield. Merrifield 1 for 4, singled off Dallas Keuchel his first time up. Both teams have had shots tonight. The Royals have left 11. The Astros have left 9 on base, including through the 6th and 7th inning. They had the bases loaded and 1 out and couldn't score a run.
It's kind of an interesting situation. Whit Merrifield handles the bat pretty good. You've got speed at first, and Ken Giles has only walked 3 guys all year. Do you try and put somebody in motion, create a little movement on defense?
He's only have 3 walks?
Yep.
Well, it depends on what you think about Whit. It looks like he might be one of their better hitters. I think the Royals have to do that a lot of times, to move guys around because they don't have guys who can hit a lot of balls out of the ballpark.
Last year, Mondesi combined for 26 steals between the big leagues and AAA. There's that slider in there for a called strike. It's 1-1.
Kenny's not real quick to home plate. I hope he just takes a ground ball to short to second and first for double play.
I would definitely be hoping for that. But also, Whit Merrifield, 22 doubles on the season, too. He hits a gap.
Ooh, close play at first.
Caught him leaning a little bit.
It's the second time he was doing that.
Yeah.
Pitch up high, it's 2-1. Royals have not had a game to close since they traded their closer Kelvin Herrera to the Nationals. May mix and match with a few different guys. See who might take over that role. There goes the runner. Pitch bounces away from McCann, who's got to hustle to make sure Mondesi doesn't go to third. Be a stolen base, even though the pitch got away. Mondesi was on the move. 3-1 the count to Merrifield.
There's that wide stance. Not much Brian McCann can do with that.
Right.
In the air to right field, sending Springer back. Mondesi tagging at second. Springer will try and make the throw all the way to third, and it'll be just a little late. Mondesi tags up and advances to third. Merrifield moves the runner 90 feet.
The Astros road ahead is driven by DeMontronRV.com. A couple more games here with Kansas City before the Blue Jays come in to finish off this extended homestand, and then it's back out on the road to Tampa Bay for 4 games. Todd's old stomping grounds. Day off in Dallas before 2 with the Texas Rangers, and heading back in to Minute Maid Park to finish off a homestand before they go into that All-Star break. A lot of winnable games ahead of them.
Yes, there is. Starts with this one.
Infield comes in with Roysel Herrera batting, playing just his 5th game with the Royals and game number 16 in his big league career. Takes a pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Herrera 11 games earlier this year with Cincinnati. 1 for 4 tonight. He is 4 for 17 as a member of the Royals. Round of bunt, takes it up high for a ball, 2-0. We talk about this a lot with the infield in. The key to infield in is you have to be as close as you're comfortable with, knowing you can get the runner at third if he's off with contact play.
Yeah, he runs well, that kid.
So Yuli's way up.
Yeah, but that's a personal opinion for Yuli right there. He's just trying to get it where that dirt doesn't come involved when the ball gets off the bat.
And Alex can't creep down any farther because that's going to bring the base runner with him.
2-0 pitch down and in. It's 3-0.
You know, it kind of makes sense for, because you don't want that ball to hit the dirt and the grass where it comes together. You don't want it to hit there. Right there is fine. It could be fine right there. It's wherever he feels comfortable.
There's a fastball at 98 for a strike.
I'm with you on that. Playing in it's hard enough to react, but you want to take as many obstacles out of the way, and that lip sometimes can create some tough hops.
They look real close together though for some reason. Do they not?
Yuli and Altuve?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely pinching into that hole in between them.
Ball driven to center field. This will give the Royals the lead, and the bounces off the base of the wall. Herrera to second. He will head to third. Correa will not be able to make a throw. A triple for the rookie Roysel Herrera. And the Royals lead this game 1-0.
It's been a big night for Roysel Herrera. Took that possible home run away from Alex Bregman on a great play to right field and worked himself into a pretty good hitter's count. And got a heater right down the middle and barreled it up nicely and shot that thing off the center field wall for a triple. He's just kind of cruising for the first 90 feet, huh?
I think he started running at all.
It was an easy.
Yeah. It's kind of like the way he used to run everything.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
To the spread.
Easy to the spread. Fair enough.
Infield stays in with the same scenario. Runner at third and 1 out. Now Mike Moustakas the batter. Giles had 0-2. Royals pushed the first run of this game across the plate in the top half of the 9th inning. Ken Giles trying to keep it right there. And he gets Moustakas. Out number 2, the infield can move back to normal depth.
You got Moustakas chasing big time.
Just went straight down like we talked about earlier today.
The bottom dropped out of that thing.
More like a split. I know it wasn't. But
just trying to watch the rotation. Had a weird rotation on it too.
Cement mixer.
Here's Salvador Perez. Takes a pitch in the dirt. Perez has faced Giles 3 times. He is 2 for 3 with a home run. Astros will have the 7, 8, 9 hitters due up in the bottom half of the 9th. Marwin Gonzalez, Tony Kemp, and Brian McCann. Fly ball center field. Kemp is there. Royals get 1. Astros will bat in the bottom half of the 9th. T-Mobile. Show your military appreciation and use hashtag HatsOffForHeroes. T-Mobile will donate $1 for each post. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Astros only have 2 hits. The Royals have walked 7 batters tonight. And the Astros have left 9 on base. They need at least a run to keep this alive. 2 to walk it off with Marwin Gonzalez, Tony Kemp, and Brian McCann due to face the lefty Tim Hill.
Yeah, Tim Hill coming out of that bullpen for the Kansas City Royals. He's got a little bit of a funky delivery. That submarine from the left side. In 31 games, he's only thrown in 22 2/3 innings. That whip well above 1. 8 walks in those 22 1/3. And it might be matchup time for Ned Yost out there. They're going to have the bullpen going with a couple more arms. It'll be interesting to see how Hill does. Throws pretty hard from that sidearm delivery, right around 90, 92 miles an hour.
It is hard from there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, as a right-handed hitter, we don't get to see stuff like this. I mean, I think it's harder. It could be 100% wrong, but it's real hard from down there. We just don't see it.
Yeah, typically it's that right-hander that had to make adjustments because he was getting crushed over the top, drop down to create a little more movement.
So as a right-handed hitter, you got to really, really make sure the ball is up. Otherwise, you're just beating it into the ground.
Do you have a tough time picking up arm, like when these guys drop down, being able to pick up that release point?
At first, yeah. I mean, it would be nice to sit there and go, let me take a pitch, but yet you're only going to face this guy one time.
Yeah, then you see him in the bottom of the 9th inning and you got to get on base.
So, you just got to make sure you see something up. I don't know. This is maybe a guy you're laughing, looking for your salvage right here for a walk. I mean, I just
no hit me.
Yeah, because you're just not used to this.
Slowly hit right side. Dozier gloves it, bobbles, and still makes the play for out number 1.
That was interesting. The one he dove almost for it, and then he dropped it. It's been a weird night.
That's the beauty of playing first base. You can almost tackle it.
Are you trying to say this? You guys don't have to have any ability to play first?
Limited.
I like that. I can live with that. Park and pass for that. Limited.
You more than pass for that. No, I tell that story all the time. When I got traded over here and I was throwing baseballs across the diamond, you know, one thing you told me, you said, hey, Anything over my head's on you.
Yeah,
if it's in the dirt, I can help you.
Yeah, it's true.
Tony Kemp, the batter. A couple of changes defensively for the Royals this inning. Ryan Goins comes in at second base. And Whit Merrifield moves from second base to center field.
I would imagine it's not real fun for lefties in this either. Ooh. With this speed, though, his ball gets out of his hand pretty good right there. Tall guy, like it. It's good to got a guy like Tony Kemp doing this because he's not trying to do too much. Hopefully, he can just put a barrel on it.
Towards second, Goins is there. And the Astros down to their final out in the 9th inning.
I've actually been pretty impressed with the way Tony Kemp has come up here. Like you said, not playing out of his element or trying to do too much. He pushed together some great ABs.
I agree with you 100%. He's got some bunts down when we needed it in a league that doesn't bunt that much anymore.
Yep.
He knows what his capabilities are, what he can do. I think he's done a great job for us. I really do.
Here's Brian McCann getting his first at bat. He came on defensively in the 8th inning after Matt Stassi was pinch hit for.
So explain this to me right here. You got BMAC up. Generally, the entire left side of the stadium moves over to the right side. And now you got your shortstop playing. I don't understand that. I mean, I'm glad.
They're not shifting them.
That's 93 from right there.
That's impressive. But to your point, he could hit a lousy ground ball to the second base spot.
I just don't understand it. Every time I ever seen it, the entire stadium did it, including the stands. That's what he feels like when he's hitting, I promise you.
No, you've talked to him as much as I have, and he's actually said that's what it feels like.
I know. That was what it felt like the last year when I played. There's 25 guys in the field.
Into center field, coming on Merrifield, and Tim Hill, 28-year-old who made his major league debut earlier this year, just picks up his first major league save as he closes the door on a 1-0 4-pitcher combined shutout. Astros only had 2 hits tonight. The Royals walked 7, and Rosell Herrera, a hero offensively and defensively, possibly robbed Bregman of a home run and knocked in the only run of the game with a triple. 1-0 Royals, the final score. We'll have more with a post-game show coming up around the corner.